Doesn't have Halldamir or Rahal in it.
Halldamir, Halldamir.
Right, I started the stream, I think, but I'm also dropping all the frames.
I'm sure someone will pick him up. Let's see here if I can see if you're online. Halldamir and
Why am I dropping
Rahal.
all the frames?
It's there.
Really?
Is it?
You did it, buddy. You're a broadcaster.
Amazing. I don't see myself, but I'll trust you.
Oh, you're an influencer now.
Yep. That's him.
That's what I hear. Let's see, how do I even see the broadcast?
Grimmeth rolls his eyes.
Live broadcast, YouTube. This technology.
Yeah. I'm just gonna hold your hand as you totter forward into old age.
Oh.
Damn you.
Never mind that I'm older than you.
Yeah, no. No, I'm also just gonna trust that it works.
Alright.
Oh, there we go.
Wait, 63? I streamed 61 last week.
Well, it's a 62 here. Well, now it does at least. For me.
Who knows? Let's not worry about it. Gonna fix that in post.
Yeah. Post. Was it Jonas told me it's a very convenient artistic choice not to edit videos.
It's true.
No effort wasted, right? Anyway, we're all here. We're on air, live on the internet, for another session of Dreads of the Dragon Coast. Now, the first thing we normally do is a recap. So I think Grimmeth did it last time.
I
You
sure did.
So I will do this week.
Yeah, please recap the last 4 years of game time.
A lot of things happened, as it turned out. Not necessarily in order. Emmy has attempted, successfully, very much so, to spark an uprising in the city of Tizia, hoping to eventually overthrow all of civilization one step at a time, and rolled amazingly well. So a new company over there popped up, I believe, with some significant starting stats, I would expect. That's gonna cause some trouble over there. A few things happened with the factions. For example, the Red Banner is going towards Shillmister Forest, which means that the trade route south is getting a lot safer. There's still that Red Dragon about that wants tribute from everyone traveling down there, which is to be expected. Sembia has come and has decided that they want infrastructure in the region. And so they've decided to pay for the bridge that Emmy has sort of set into motion going through the Temple of Ogma over there, Redensia. So Zambia's paying for that, apparently. Elversult has had a bit of a rough time. As it turns out, they rejected a trading proposal by Thunderhome, and then Villignev thought to himself, hey, how about I just take the city, and then they don't reject that trading proposal, and then the dwarves will be happy. But as it turns out, after he pretty much crushed this city in a year-long campaign, just battering them over and over again, and making their leadership look pretty bad, eventually making way for one of the Cult of the Dragon people to swoop in as savior and new ruler of the city. The dwarves didn't very much like that plan, and they're a bit hesitant about everything in general. The Cult of the Dragon over there also had a bit of a run-in with the Harpers, where they killed some of them, which was good. We learned that over in Westgate, where all the warring gangs and whatnot are, the Fire Knives have pretty much taken control of... Well, they're not necessarily in control, but they are like on top currently. And they are sort of pro-Cormier, which isn't necessarily a good thing for us. We also tackled the last bit of the silver mine. It was cleared out from the necrotic influences there. And yeah, has been dedicated to Tiamat. It will produce all its riches, which will directly flow back into the effort to spread her influence and such. So that's good. Valiant also had some fun with the Redden smugglers, attacking them a few times. They got too close to the territory and such, but eventually they sort of sent a messenger and were like, "Hey, how about we don't fight?" And we made a little deal where, you know, they're going to be left alone now. They learned their lesson. They were respectful. You know, asked for forgiveness and all that, and that's acceptable. Valiant was also approached by the Night Masks, which is a faction that previously at some point had significant control in the Westgate, but were sort of kicked out after everyone united against them. Potentially because they're like vampires and such. But they contacted Valiant and were like, "Hey, you know, we'd like help. How about we do a little thing together?" And Valiant, well, sort of hesitantly agreed to that. Yeah, eventually Elvesold got cleared out. Yeah. Emmy, meanwhile, organizing the trade route the way south, not only funding the bridge, or, well, not funding anymore after Zambia swooped in, but I believe she also made a deal with Diane's host down there that, of course, anyone who travels down there should pay proper tribute to her, and anyone who doesn't is free to get raided by those guys. So, seems to be a profitable deal. So yeah, we played a lot with the new rain part of our system, of our campaign rather, and quite a few years just sort of happened very quickly. Cormier's getting angry, obviously, after Valignov played around on the Dragon Coast, and that was about that, I believe.
Yeah. Beyond that, we completed, or in part of that, we completed 2 goals, meaning that we currently have 2 goals left. One of them is an easy goal saying foster the trade to the south, and the other one is a medium goal saying attract the attention of Zambia. Are there any more goals you can think of to add to a goal saying?
Yeah. Overthrow the merchant lords of Tazir.
Yeah, I mean, that seems, honestly, at the moment, that seems like a hard goal. That's a rather major, not as hard as it would be right now. There's opportunities, but I still want to be a hard goal, given that there's some major opposition to change, generally.
I figured.
Yeah. All right, overthrow the merchant lords of Tazir. I mean, that certainly provokes action.
Yeah, and I'll consider it done when they're no longer in power.
When there's no longer merchant lords of Tazir, yeah. I can tell you, given the current goings on there. Quite a few eyes have turned in that direction. All right.
It's not my fault.
No, I mean no one. I mean, wouldn't even dream of suggesting. Sheep, do you have any additional things you want to accomplish?
Let me unmute myself in 17 different places.
Right.
The thing I want to accomplish is... Wouldn't know how to phrase that as a goal. It's not... No, it's too vague. I don't know if that's a worthwhile goal, but Velignith would like to take territory from the hierarchy.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that's a goal.
sure. Territory is a defined stat in the game. If you want to take their territory, that is defined thing that you can do. I think that's a fun goal. So at the moment, what is that? I'd say it's a hard thing to do.
So you just spent last session antagonizing Cormier.
Territory.
You're about to wheel around.
Well, Cormier
So these giants who are distracted and like, fuck them.
Cormier is at a level where they might be antagonized, but they're not hostile, so that's a good level to be at, so let's poke someone else. I can't just sit around and not do anything.
Didn't we just get done with this group of giants before the the curse lethargy struck us?
Took a bit of a break. I don't think they're done. What even is done?
Done is what we're going to be.
Velignith is trying to lead the world into a new age of giant Cormirian friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a goal. It is set and stated. Good. Then, in the meantime here, now I haven't advanced things too much. What I've done is what I said I would do last time, which is I've simply made agendas for these guys because, of course, all these other factions are going to be doing things, but they will do them alongside you because you might actually want to interfere with some of the things they're doing. That seems more fair than to do all the things and then have you come react to them for 4 years. So we'll try that out and see how that works. And if it's too cumbersome, we'll move on. In news, the auspicious time has come. Yanor has created his Mastercraft, and in doing so has perished from this world. He is no longer here, but left in his place is what he made, with his time and his effort. With all the materials you acquired for him, with the auspicious time you pinpointed, both with an ossuary of the plains and with consulting a coven of hags, it has been a long time coming, really, some might say, the reward for those tasks. But it has indeed come. He leaves 2 things. One is Yanor's Flaming Heart, a treasure that can turn a weapon or function as a weapon enchantment in your horde, basically, to make a weapon into a level 25 flaming weapon. The other one is Yanor's Strength, bits of rock that left behind, slacks really, but still holding power. They are function as a level 17 stone band ring, giving you the power to resist critical hits somewhat, and a daily effect of further resisting damage. These items will be delivered to Velignith as he is informed of the smiths.
That's pretty good.
So, I will put them in our chat here so you can take a look.
I should probably activate fancy streamer mode, otherwise the stream will hear Discord notifications. So is the rest of his corpse still there? You way back when said he's basically made out of a whole bunch of copper.
He is, but he used all of himself.
Oh, alright, fair. He had the same thought.
Yeah, the ring is what remains, and the weapon is what we create.
That's an expensive weapon.
Yes, it is. It is very expensive, in fact. Far beyond what you might otherwise have access to.
You know, the wealth level of your lair now is up too high. Like, you're gonna the raiders you're gonna see are pretty intense.
Yeah, no. It's not gonna be tribals anymore.
Oh, it's a bunch of hippo people from space.
Yeah. Doomsday rocket launchers.
Yeah, it can be applied to any weapon, so you can keep it or do something else with it. It's really up to you. Or you can sell it if you just want a bunch of money, but it's going to be hard to find a trader for it, so that would have to be a goal of some kind.
No, he's gonna keep it for a while and have a careful thought about what exactly to use it on.
Yeah. All right. In other news, there has indeed been a popular uprising in Tizir. A group, well, really, it started with a bunch of different groups forming, but one has really gained traction enough to sort of take over as the collective will of many of these destitute refugees that are gathered around the city, and even some people in the city too have been inspired by a monk devoted to Chantia. They have called themselves the Wasted Wheat. The idea being that while they're just sitting here doing nothing and wasting away or working in horrendous conditions and for no pay, they are simply the wasted wheat of the world, a generation lost. And they demand a say in things. They demand change. They demand fair treatment and pay. And they're willing to take to the streets for it. Though so far, there's been no incredibly violent crashes. That is, the merchant lords have not commented on the current situation, but have historically not taken too well to the uprising of the common folk. Cormier believes Sembia did it, and Sembia believes Cormier did it. No one's really sure who. Beyond that, Wilhelm has sent a message from Westgate to the Dragonfane.
What does the message say?
He states that he has been somewhat successful in his mission. He has attempted to locate dragons who might have an interest in Velign's work, and will inform that most of the black dragons of Cormier are absolutely horrendous beings that would ally with you if you're bigger than them and then try to kill you, or demand tribute from you if you're smaller than them and then try to kill you. And he rightfully believes that most of these would do better with his soul in their bodies. That it seems to be his conclusion to that. He will also inform you that it seems the cult of Asmodeus has been rather active lately, seemingly trying to gain influence in the Centaurum. If they should successfully stabilize the Centaurum and ally with them, that would be a real headache, as you're not really on Hell's sort of friend list. But beyond that, he will state that he has found a dragon that he thinks Malignith might find very interesting. A dragon in a situation not so unlike himself. He doesn't want to say more in the letter, but has invited the dragon to come visit Velignith, as per Velignith's sort of standing invitation. This was a hard sell, as this worm is not easily roused, but, well, giving a few hints about what's really going on and what he knows about this place, that there's a curse and whatnot, he managed to send it that way. And you'll mention the interesting thing. He discovered this worm initially because someone had been digging around the idea of a dragon having long, unexplained rests, coinciding with the lethargy that he and you feel.
All right. It's a bit disappointing that the letter managed to reach here before the dragon did. Doesn't really suggest much enthusiasm in the visit.
Well, apparently the dragon doesn't always travel as a dragon.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe he turns into a liquid and then oozes around.
Hmm.
That's what
Just
black dragons do.
only in destruction is the truth revealed, right?
Oh.
Work once. Yeah. What other news there might be? I think we will do that as we get into the rain portion here of moving things around and doing things, because some of it we'll just see how it turns out, I think. If that's all good with you. Beyond that, you have your questions about the current state of things. Should you have any?
I do have one.
Okay.
Last session, you said there was a bit of a kerfuffle between the Cult of the Dragon and the Harpers. What are the Harpers like up to?
What are the Harpers up to? Yes. The Harpers are currently attempting to overall vanquish evil in the world. That is their main goal. At the moment, they are working to basically oppose the Cult of the Dragon up from exposing them in Elvasalt. They do not believe... They believe the Cult of the Dragon are definitely in league with Velignith, and that their power needs to be stopped, because clearly they're willing to just kill people endlessly. Should they lose, though, they can retreat. Beyond that, they wish to contact an ally with Cormier to get them more involved in the region.
Okay.
I see a circle in Westgate called the Marked. What's up with that?
They are a smaller crew that has recently been gaining traction in the area. They used to just be a gang, but after encounter with a scarred Drowess new leader, essentially, they have gained quite a bit of traction. The name comes because each of them is marked whenever they join to prove their loyalty, usually in a visible location, such as an acid burn or a similar brand, to show their loyalty. At the moment, they seem to be gathering power, perhaps trying to vie for control of the city.
All right. That's the only question the generic question I had about the factions on the board.
Good. Good. Perhaps then we should go to this meeting. What do you think, Sheep?
Yeah, I mean, this dragon is supposed to counter Veligov, like, he's not going to take initiative.
Yeah. And so it will. A long way, but that's how it goes. Even if traveling most at night. Up into the mountains to a carved out place. Mr. Dragonfane.
Where said dragon will see Velignov in his usual spot, even at night, sitting pretty much in the middle of the perfectly circular plateau that has been carved into the mountainside, suggesting that there's much more beneath. Probably a few, like, fires going on, illuminating the place a little bit.
Yeah. Bring you over here to the map. The relevant map. Good. Then, yeah. I mean, he will hear the lizard folk, probably. Well, that's the question. Does this dragon arrive quietly?
Yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
yes.
I'll say so.
All right. Then he will not hear any alarms or any thought of any sort of sound for that.
I just got a warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this a jar out of memory era?
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's the thing that happened. Can you see the map?
No. I mean, it's black. So
Okay, try restarting your map tool.
Alright, tech support, how did you start your map tools?
through the launcher.
Don't.
Well, I mean, the launcher
Actually,
should-
maybe the launcher should work.
I've been connected since like 9.
you just want to up your memory. From within the screenshot.
This is less of a hurdle with more advanced versions of Map Tool, but we're here.
Yeah, it's true.
Is it less of a hurdle?
Yes.
Man, that's a really good argument for.
Manikai, the latest versions of Map Tool are an executable. And that's the list.
Yeah.
After all these years, Manikai is like, maybe.
Hmm.
How do I up the?
So you see Gribbeth's screenshot where it says 1024?
Launch? Sorry.
In the screenshot he sent, it says 1024. Right?
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
where you up the.
In the field below, you want to put in like 5.
Oh, I see.
We'll be right with you, folks.
Eventually.
uh,
It's gonna crash.
Yeah, now's a good time. I think it's back.
Just ask it.
Maybe.
Stream, are you back?
You're back?
Are you back?
It's been very unstable for some reason.
They're here. Good. Excellent.
Never left.
Uh,
Hear stuff. That's good. Can you see stuff? You should be able to see stuff.
I can see the map now. That is an improvement.
Okay, good.
Oh,
If you want to see the Dragon Fane, then just go to the Serpent Valley map and then go sort of top
Northwest.
Yeah.
It's even like geographically correct.
north. This is a giant map, y'all.
Yeah. It is. I should probably clean it up, actually.
Anyway,
I always say that.
yes.
Yes. Did you find it?
No.
Big white circle.
Oh, thank you.
Put you here. Good.
So you can just move her there.
Yeah, that's what it did. Excellent. Now the dragon can
Fuck me.
What?
Can you move me there again?
oh, sure.
There you go.
Can sneak its way in to the
Yes.
light.
And
If it's
well,
open to the sky. I mean, is it night? Is it day? When would
I
you
think
arrive?
it was night.
Okay. In the night, coming creeping up. And you see the dragon that has been described to you as the one you seek.
Yeah, she'll advance cautiously. If he had been able to see her before she made her presence known, he would have seen a much smaller silhouette transforming. But she will come near.
Valignav sort of sitting up. Perhaps slightly tense, tilting his head in curiosity, whereas the rest of his body tensing with excitement of, maybe someone coming to challenge him. He wouldn't mind.
I was told that I should meet you.
Moment of
I am the Cicatrix.
Valignav doesn't speak for a moment, sort of observing. He says, "You're the first. Well, third, technically, I suppose. What brings you here? Of course, you were told to come here, but I would assume that at this point, quite a few have been told, and yet those have not come."
Harry, why don't you go ahead and describe the dragon? You sort of move out into the view.
Yes. Cicatrix is unusually lean. And has a quite a long neck, which keeps moving around, back and forth. She has these big white, sort of scaly scars of bleached color on her otherwise pristine dark scales. And it's clear that any movement she makes is incredibly cautious and incredibly calculated. And her moving of the neck is a way of observing, trying to gain some advantage in, well, any situation.
Is she larger or smaller than Valignav?
About the same size, probably, though probably a lot leaner. She's not looking starved, but certainly muscly, anyway. She'll say, "Your messenger. What an unfortunate fate he had."
No, he told you, did he?
Oh, I would not have come otherwise. I don't always expect much of our kind.
And yet there's so much that one should expect of our kind.
That has yet to be proven to me.
Sure.
I am here because I believe we have a common foe.
Which one in particular? Because I do believe we have actually quite a few, just in general.
She sighs, maybe a little annoyed that the messenger has not had this conversation with Vodignus. Seemed kind of sloppy. She even took her time getting here. Well,
My roommate is hammering. Nice.
Dwarves
it's the
like
sound
wheel
of
out
a
like a construction
impatient
cart.
bashing tail into the ground.
Uh,
No, she will. Yes, I understand that you are also under some kind of spell or curse.
Are there any people around currently, like, on this plateau, Manakite?
Some dwarves hammering.
Of course.
They're making a sign. A shed, perhaps.
A shed up here? Well,
But if you give them a look, they will depart.
Don't build a shed here. What the hell?
Well, the boars get sunburn.
I would say when she said that, she will have moved a lot closer because all this filth doesn't get to. Except with Triceratops, he can listen.
Yeah, he's a good listener.
It's very shocked.
Yeah. Yeah. Then, it's just-
I have heard that there are some who are afflicted by something, although I was under the impression that most of those turned to blackish goop. Only some survived. As far as I remember, well, I should know very well who those survivors were.
Yes, well, I have yet to meet other like me. Your messenger was certainly the first that was not just a smoky remnants of sadness, bitterness.
That's why you've got those white spots?
She
Or is that
hisses.
just...
A little bit of acid drips out of her mouth. Yes, I should think so. As her eyes glaze over a little bit, clearly remembering, a shuddering, unwillingly goes for her body. Yes, yes. You understand. I am much older than. As she looks him up and down. You and yours.
What's that supposed to mean?
means I was not an egg. It happened. I was a disposable experiment. I will have you know.
Fuck's sake.
She looks at the dwarves. Really?
Things are just going sheep's way today.
I think he stopped.
And she's like, well, I have been unaccounted for, though I still am under the unfortunate. She looks around. Unfortunate. Well.
I
Need for
see.
rest.
I was hoping that I'd attract the attention of our kind, not because of the same affliction, but because my purpose makes sense to others, but suppose your reasoning is acceptable. Didn't
She will,
realize
like,
that would be more afflicted. That is quite interesting. Does she know, you think?
no, I should not think so. During the year of blue fire, I was cut off, I believe. Others were not as fortunate. I don't know that I would still be alive if she did. I would like to keep it that way. I should think I could be an asset when the time comes. I do
Now,
believe that you also want, well, revenge on her. Yes.
wouldn't exactly call it revenge or any of those words. I'm not entirely sure what to call it yet. It's just unacceptable what she's trying to do.
Oh, what she has been doing. If you are truly, which, she like looks at him. She'll adjust her statement.
Just butting in here, I'm obligated to inform you that Erlingneth here, I should look at him, is a truly chosen by Tiamat, and is
Yeah, I was gonna say. She like looks at him and she's like, "Oh, I'm really back." You are of Tiamat. You should agree, of course, that doing experiments on our kind, the far supremer beings of this very continent, this very existence, that in itself is.
Certainly, I definitely agree. It's just revenge and anger, those are strong words that should be pointed towards those who are worthy of the anger. She is a fool for what she's trying to do. She will be destroyed, and I'll enjoy it for sure. I'm not angry at her. I reserve the right to be angry at those that truly are worthy of my anger. I haven't found anyone those in that area yet.
She sneers visibly at that.
You can get angry at her if you like. I definitely support you in that endeavor. But I do have a question. If you've just said that you would like to survive, keep on living, those two things are synonymous in my mind. The best way to do that would be to just hide. You yourself said that if she knew you were still alive, you probably would stop being alive. Or would have stopped being alive. So, am I correct to assume that I'm the reason you are not hiding anymore?
Yes. As much as it growls.
I can accept that. Now, if you're hoping for short-term gratification to destroy her where she stands, wherever that might be, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint in that regard. What I'm trying to do long-term. Years don't matter, decades don't matter, so whatever you expect me at this very moment, I don't think I can deliver. Now, the opposite, however, is not true. You're here, you want things, and I'll help you get those things whatever way I can, but in return I obviously expect the same. A cooperation more so than you coming here to accomplish something very specific in a short time frame.
Ah, yes. I should have said. I have not interacted with our kind for a while. I have. Well, it took me a while to awaken from my slumber, and even longer to regain enough strength. Do what I do.
Yes, I know the feeling.
I suspect that, well, even though she tricked me, she. Oh. She will not be so easily disposed of. No, for now, I think that there are other ways of strengthening our position. We, if I understand correctly, do have that common goal, but I'm also see it as, well, a guarantee. You and I too. Because we, ultimately, for that encounter, benefit from each other. There is also, well, it is rare for our kind to have a guarantee of somewhat peace, I should think.
Tilts his head. Peace? You think that our affliction guarantees peace? As
Between us.
even between us, as idyllic as that sounds, there are things to observe, things that make sure that this relationship works. There is absolutely no guarantee of peace. There is a guarantee that I won't kill you because that would apparently impact me. Sure. There might even be a guarantee that Emmy doesn't kill you because it would impact her. Perhaps, of course, the opposite is also true. Though I've yet to see proof that you could threaten either of us. However,
laughed.
peace is not guaranteed. War has many forms. I don't mean to suggest
that is
that
the only peace I will ask.
Now, let me be frank. I very much enjoyed the fact that you appeared here in front of me. I will do as I have done with my other siblings, which is to say I will support you in whatever you attempt to do, as your success in the end furthers Tiamat's presence on this plane, which will eventually, hopefully, perhaps give us an out of our unfortunate situation. But there's no guarantee for peace. You do anything I dislike, and I will act against it, obviously.
Well, of course. I should have been more clear. I do not expect any less one of our kind. I should think the only peace that can be between us is a mutual understanding of where we stand and the end goal.
That works, I suppose. You know where you stand? That's very good. You did say you didn't have much contact to your kind. I don't suppose you know a larger black dragon by the name of Sinceriofariust, or something along those lines. It's been a while since I've heard his name.
Do I, Manaka?
Oh, yes.
Is that my own rival?
No. He is another black dragon. Dominates a lot of the Lego dragons. He's not nice. Even then. About your peer in age.
I know of him, though I have not interacted with him for a while. Well,
He has certainly attempted to interact with me in a manner that, still after quite a few years, is one of the few things that does evoke some sort of anger in me. I do not think that he will ever cooperate with me, and therefore will not cooperate in what we are trying to accomplish. Perhaps, I assume you live in the area, consider taking care of him for me.
oh, I think you can be assured that if I could currently destroy him on my own, I would have done so. I do not reside in his domain. I have made other arrangements for myself.
Well, perhaps we can consider taking his domain for you.
Yeah. He purrs. Sorta. Like making biscuits on the ground almost. Now, I like the sound, though he is my equal in age. Well, this darned affliction of mine have robbed me of much of the power that should rightfully be mine. She starts clearly getting very angry.
Yes, it is unfortunate, but much as has been taken from us, there is the advantage of us working together in this. I also don't believe that he is quite as strong as you may think he is, as, after all, you said he is your age, roughly. The main issue is that I'm not particularly fond of water, while I suspect that it won't bother you too much. Won't bother you too much, that is.
No, of course not. My kind is quite comfortable there, and I even more so. I have resided on much deeper places.
I do look forward to us working together. Now, I do have a challenge for you. There is,
He snorts.
of course, the matter of my sibling, so to speak. I think you should introduce yourself to her.
Well, I had hoped that this would be the only trip I needed to make.
I suppose I can call her here.
Please. At least this is a place I have, well, somewhat scouted out in advance. I don't particularly like to go into other kin's domain. You would understand.
We do have to work on that cowardice of yours. Cool. Malignant turns away and walks into the tunnel to his left.
She, again, sort of almost snake-like, gets her head back and forth. Not taking issue with his comment.
Malignant will head down to the the ascending stones.
Soft music like lilting through.
He'll consider how he wants to do this. He doesn't usually like go down there himself. Usually
Yeah, it's
all
almost never been Valignith who's called first, or the Whisper Stone.
Yeah,
So the
never.
dwarves that do it.
You're welcome, Grimmith.
He figures the best case, the best way to probably get across to those damn ferries that they should fetch you is to just, take a deep breath and give it a big old roar right into those stupid stones.
Honestly, they're probably excited. Like, they've probably been so fucking bored because the doors never interact. Unlike Valignus and this is the first interesting thing that's happened in ever so long.
Not exactly the effect he wanted to.
Somewhere in Imizure's lair, like a red light showing a dragon is projected onto the wall.
Missouri currently has her eyes closed. She's like rolled over as she's forcing Sereno to read her a bedtime story. And he pauses and she opens her eye and she looks and the light signaling a Gondor requires Rohanze. Or in this particular case, she forgets what that even means. Because it doesn't happen. Oh. Alright.
What is this?
A few minutes later, she pads over to where the fairies are, and picks up the sending stone, and says, Valignith, I'm here.
Good morning, Emmy. I'm here to inform you that my message sent out to our kin has not fallen on deaf ears. It appears that there's not just 4 of us, or now 2, I suppose, but rather 1 more. You should come over here.
She considers the implications, and she says, yeah, I'll be there. And then probably like 20 seconds later, the music picks up again.
Well, you can leave the stone and get out of hearing, hearing distance.
Yeah.
It's like a big old door in front of the room, especially for this purpose.
As a couple minutes later, the green dragon with a grayish hue takes off from her warm, delightful, toasty hill and heads off for the barren, desolate dragon fane. She's in a rush, though. I mean, why, right? Yeah. After
A dragon comes exactly when she means to.
after some measure of time, the dragon fane dragon alarm will sound. As in the night, the meandering form of the sleek dragon comes visible in the night, and spirals on down into the dragon fane, knocking over the shed.
Tumbling people. Oh. Like the idea that the lizard folk scout come running a dragon is approach. Oh shit.
Yeah, shit.
That's
Then
the
they just
second.
sneak away, trying to be quiet, not be
That's
thought
the
of.
second dragon you have failed to inform me about today.
Maybe Zure appears ever so confident and patient and carefree, as if so few things in life could possibly trouble her. Very much is the epitome of that the expression on the token.
I do hear that she was the spoiled one.
She is the favorite child of the Bone Devil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lands, looks at the shed that the doors are trying to build, doesn't understand why they were trying to build it out here. Probably some sort of social experiment.
Yeah. At this point they probably just give up.
Team building.
Back to the cave. Just make the shit down.
Looks at it, looks around, momentarily confused, just bobs her head, seeing the place. It's been a while since she's been here. Blinks once, blinks twice, narrows her eyes. There's something different here. It's the behemoth. She glides on over, look at the behemoth. That's new. She heard stories about that, but that's different.
Really, Emmy? My newest acquisition catches your interest more readily than our visitor?
She says, "Where's the visitor?"
He's over there.
Missouri rotates and says, "No, I just came from there." She swivels. She looks harder. She says, "Oh."
I mean, she's a black stuffy dragon in the night, I suppose.
She says, she looks towards Valignith and says, "It's not the first time you befriended a black dragon. Is this going to be a thing?"
Well, last time wasn't my fault.
Oh, well, that's different. She moves away from Valignith.
I would say that friends is yet to be determined. I prefer. Well, we shall see.
Looks where Cicatrix, up and down. She says, "Well, greetings. I am Emizure Leader there.
Where's Cicatrix?
Delightful.
I suppose you were the ally of the red one.
Not exactly, but close enough.
She laughs. She chuckles.
Yeah, Emizure also laughs, perhaps for an entirely different reason.
Ah. Well,
Niafel cursed you too.
she hisses at the name.
Like bobs her head. Looks over at
I
Veligna.
was cursed before you were born.
She says,
Cursed for so long.
"All right, you were cursed before us. What a race to win." Veligna, do you still have that stone thing that Dofus Sterelix brought?
I think he does.
Hey, she says, if she actually is cursed, then it should interact with her.
Potentially. It might have been tuned to us. Especially considering that she...
Don't be difficult. Get the damn thing.
What is this object?
I'll have someone fetch it for me. See, without getting up like cranes around looking for anyone here.
Just yells.
Just like a couple of the lizard folk over here, like trying to be quiet and try to make the skin wings quiet. They're still making like these squawking, clicking sounds, looking for food.
Yeah, he's gonna shout at one of them to get the thing for him.
Oh, of course, yes.
Does he shout the thing? Or
He probably described like the... You know, they know what he means. That's what they...
My tablet!
They have enough experience hanging out around Veligna that they know exactly what he means.
The ones who didn't get it, they died. So they leave and then they figure out what it is after they left, and then...
So, while they're gone and while we're waiting, Emizure, still looking at Veligna, says, "So, Eversold."
Yes. What about it?
Well, I'm just wondering why you didn't move in after campaigning against it for half the year.
I didn't move in because I didn't have to. I don't want to manage a city. Got someone else to do it.
She says, "Well, I hope that's worth it. Cormir sure noticed."
Cormir is going to notice us eventually anyways. Better build up power quickly before they do.
She says, "Yeah, well, we're an enemy, so if their knights start trying to charge up this mountainside, I'm not going to help. You can fly."
They won't.
She is not entirely convinced.
Because they can't fly.
the Cicatrix is like observing this interaction, trying to figure out the dynamic here. Though she kind of figures it out already. She feels.
Eventually, though, the lizard folk are going to return with the object, because otherwise, Emizure and Velignath are just going to snipe at each other.
Cicatrix is like, there's a smart one, and then there's the red one.
He'll put down a big stone tablet and like withdraw, you know. Maybe he'll actually stay there and like hold it up, like so it doesn't fall over.
Velignath will crane his head towards the black dragon, sort of nod towards the thing, and say, "Touch it."
Emizure looks over Cicatrix and says, "If you do have the curse of lethargy, touching that should provide an interaction."
The Cicatrix like slowly circles around. Taking her time to try and observe this peculiar.
Sort of awkwardly try to shift to angle it towards the Cicatrix whenever possible. It's like a scraping. It's like an enchanted stone tablet.
She will go forward, ready to pat on pounds, but she will touch it with
Sure.
her claw.
The second you make contact with it, you fall into an absolute darkness. And there you see a face. A young face of a woman, bubbly and happy as ever, you remember. Yaffle. She gives you a warm smile, a friendly smile, a smile of a mother wanting you to succeed, and will speak to you. My sons, my daughter, I hope you have grown well. I have left this place, as well as a few others, for you to find. I wanted to have a way to leave information for you that Hell will not be able to easily access. Part of the bargain with Hell was that you would be informed of the deal, and your part in it. However, I expect Hell to have bent the truth as much as possible. Hell is promised our souls, should we perish before the ritual is complete. When the ritual is done, I will have returned substantially stronger than when I died. You will, ideally, be adults and powerful in your own right. Hell has told you this, I'm sure. They have stressed that when I return we will fight and kill one another. I leave this to tell you that such an end is not needed. When I return, I will be wary. I will be whatever has come of the world after my death. I want to make you an offer. To not fight when I return, but instead to refuse Hell. They will try to cheat, and get us all regardless. Should we stand together, then Asmodeus himself will be thinking twice about refusing our demands. Beyond that, I will give you some information about yourselves. You were all very difficult to acquire and very expensive to restore. I chose you from others, as you were the ones who would survive the ritual. Were you to return to the chamber where you hatched, you would find the bones and shells of a dozen more, your failed brothers and sisters. Before I attempted the plan you are a part of, I attempted others. Adult dragons, celestials, infernals, mortals. I was creative, and I tried whatever fates suggested might work. Therefore, believe that I care for you, if nothing else because you're a product of immense effort. I'm proud of you, as you are my utmost work. You are the only children I will ever care to have, and I look forward to seeing you grown and strong when we meet in the distant years beyond whatever apocalypse is coming. Then she gives you a smile, as if these words are truly the words she means. And then the vision fades, and you stand back upon the cool plateau. It seems to have taken only a second, for the others at least. You can describe your reaction.
Yes. The cicatrix is shaking of anger and clearly restraining herself from squishing the lizard man between her claws and throwing him off the cliffs. How dare she?
Amy looks at
And-
Volitive and says, I think we got a winner.
I think
And
so.
offer for peace when she is the very reason.
Oh, anger. Anger. I do like your anger, but do consider that by being angry at her, you legitimize her. You
Amy looks confused.
You tell yourself that she is worthy of your attention, even though she is a mere fool who has a We'll take care of her eventually. It might be difficult, but it's also going to be fun.
Her eyes narrow.
Amy looks to dismiss the lizard, then remembers that it's not her minion. Just looks towards Valignev.
William just ignores him.
Amy's staring like snorts and moves on with her life.
I was gonna say, she's gonna, like,
He'll move out of the way, but stand.
yeah, hiss at him. Be like, move or I'll make you.
William will send him away now with like a nod or something.
For Cicatrix, Valignath and I were raised in a group of 4. We have lost 2 of our number, though they have not been slain, so the curse has not fallen apart, and we have not been sent to a hell. We are working to not just survive, but find a way to rid ourselves of the curse of lethargy. Takes time, which the curse cuts into.
I think we disagree on our methods.
Certainly a goal that I would like in on. Supposedly, even 3 are kind, 2. She looks pointedly. Doesn't necessarily agree on the method. It's still better than, well, less.
Yes, it is a good idea to agree with Amy because she killed the last dragon that I tried to recruit for our cause.
She says, Orphesterlix, the copper dragon, was too mischievous and sought to bring ruin upon everything. I also hated him. He gifted me mud and thought that was acceptable. Basarek was also looking to use him against us. You know, the bone devil that raised us, Valignath, the agent of hell that works tirelessly to ensure the success of Asmodeus. That's not a problem.
I'm not familiar with Hell's involvement much other than what I heard from her.
She says, might not be your problem, specifically. Our eggs were
They have
brought
been
up.
promised my soul.
She says, well,
I
then it might be your problem, specifically.
I do wonder if there's more of us, or if it's just you who miraculously survived.
Well,
She says, well, not going to get that answered here.
I assume that there could be others, though not everyone. Of course, have my skill. Or had, I should say.
Well, for Cicatrix, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you. Surely it is good to have decent and reasonable company that does not charge headlong. Should you continue to socialize with Valignath, however, you should be warned. What he did to Elvisor, he might do to anything.
Well, then I will say I have particularly interest in Westgate.
Amy, you would use Elvisol as an example and not Elm, really?
She says, no one cares about Elm.
I cared about Elm. You cared about Elm, or pretended to.
Well, Westgate, I have no particular interest in there other than to keep an eye on the cult of Asmodeus that is attempting to raise in power. Should it grow too mighty, I would have to take action.
We wouldn't
Well,
want the
my
city to
goal is
lean too far
sunset.
towards Colmy either.
Either Asmodeus or the Red Wizards.
She says, "Ah, yes, Red Wizard Enclave is there as well. Yes, well, Westgate.
For now. I do not intend for that to be a true statement forever. I have many years of suffering to thank their kind for.
And he says, well, all right. Velignus, you're not looking to do anything with Westgate, are you?
I don't think so.
And he says, I know what that answer means. I'm not looking to take any action, and I have no vested interest in Westgate, so by all means, I won't be interfering. I'd prefer not to strike the city openly, but I don't think that'll be a problem with you. She bobs her head.
Well, no. I like more discreet. That's it.
Great! We'll get along, you and I. She says,
Perhaps.
Not perhaps. I'm convinced. I'll leave you two to, well, keep chatting. This isn't my home. I have to go to attend to a few things. Velignus, see you next year? Maybe in 2?
If I can't avoid it.
He says, looking forward to it.
Oh, the Cicatrix is leaving. She's like, I got what I got here. He's in no hurry to talk more with the Red Dragon.
Alright, yeah. And Missouri leaves. Cicatrix leaves, leaving the Red Dragon alone to keep his stoic expression once more in the center of the fane.
She will, like, by the I guess one of the entrances will, I suppose we'll have to find a way to contact one another.
I don't think that's entirely true. You know where to find me.
She snorts. I know where to find your servant.
I suppose him too.
She leaves. What an arrogant youngling. Ugh.
This is why no one's his friend.
I do like the picture. It's like estranged families. Like, yeah, see you next Thanksgiving. You know, sort of.
But Cicatrix is suddenly, she would wish for her kind or her siblings to have not undergone her fate, but maybe it's a good thing they're not here. Siblings seem bothersome, really.
I mean,
Probably already tired after interacting with dragons for just a short amount of time. Like, that took a lot out of me.
I'll go bully some mortals.
There you go.
yeah. And on that note, going back to the Dragon Coast map here, I can also inform you with that the Marked is a crew, in fact, led by the mortal version.
Okay. Cool. That explains why their sudden appearance. My goodness.
I do strive to have just maybe every other session something new appear. If it becomes relevant.
Also, because this did not happen out of character, welcome Aerie to the party, everyone.
Yeah.
As a dragon, going to be joining Dreads of the Dragon Coast campaign until it crashes and burns 3 sessions from now. Look forward to that.
Not by my hand.
Sure.
Gotta turn
I
these
mean, it's not like I
mustaches.
have a record of murdering characters or anything.
Ari, of course, previously joined us in the exploration of my character's lair of all things.
I believe also sheep.
And the other one.
Yeah, I know.
I blocked that out of my
You were
memory.
killing adventurers, so it's only befitting that I'm now a dragon, really, so I can kill more of them.
It's true. Both your characters, the fleet you played, died in the making of this film, so it only sounds appropriate for
Yeah.
you to rise.
It's 2 out of 3 characters so far this campaign. All right, then we're here, and we can begin doing things if we so desire.
I will refresh my group token. Remove those minuses. Hell yeah.
Yeah. As I figure what we'll do here is again, last time I did the approach of rolling most of the other stuff besides you, but that sort of made it feel like as we advanced more years that no one else was sort of doing anything while you were doing things. Maybe this time we'll try to have actions happen in a year. Essentially, you get to go first if you want to. Then I will do some of the important things for the different factions around, and then you can do the rest of your actions if you want. Unless you've just sort of exhausted yourself. If you should desire. Going first generally beneficial because you get to do things first. But of course, spending all your power early leaves you weakened should a faction actually decide to attack you.
Oh, dare, surely.
Does that sound
Yeah, that's fine.
good to everyone? It's good.
Yeah.
All right. The dragons have parted. A nominal alliance has been established. And then I will ask if anyone has anything they really wish to get done here quickly at the beginning of the year before everything else begins to move.
Does Aries' character do you have goals, Barry? We didn't go over those at the start, I presume, because the reveal, aha, but
yeah, I mean, you're
Alright.
pretty much about seizing more and more control of Westgate.
Alright.
As well as branding out, as you with branching out in business, you don't want to hold your investment in one.
Okay, yeah. Portfolios,
Sort of
okay.
raiding and plundering.
Alright.
Yeah. Ideally, kicking out the Red Wizards from Westgate would probably be her strongest interest. There's really no need for them to be here. Or anywhere, but specifically where she is.
Alright. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't have any immediate action I want to launch into at the start of the year.
All right. Sheep, you got anything? Or would you like to? I mean, you can always interrupt me as I go through other factions. If you want.
The only thing I can think of is maybe that is worth doing right away before they do something silly. Thunderhome wanted to make a deal with Elversalt for trading and such.
Mm-hmm. That was the original. Well,
That was.
I mean, Bellingham did say that, Elversalt didn't want to do it in the first, but now surely Elversalt wants to. So, I don't know how to phrase this exactly, but he'd like to suggest to Thunderhome to retry to make that deal.
Have you ensured that the Cult of the Dragon has actually, taken action to take control of Elversalt since you weakened it?
Not at all.
Alright, that's Fuligneth.
Of course they would, right?
I set them up. How could they fail? Tiamat is watching.
So you want to try to influence their actions.
Yeah, basically paint it such that what he did was actually great for Thunderhome.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic sort of espionage thing, I believe.
I mean, it's not propaganda if it's true.
Well, espionage very much covers spying, learning secrets, or changing opinions, which absolutely, does sound like what's happening here.
Mhm.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
changing minds. Let's see here.
Influence plus treasure.
I feel like this would even be something where Velinov doesn't send a messenger, but actually goes himself. Sort of thinking that maybe they'll try some stupid ambush, and then at least he knows where Thunderhome stands.
I mean, Thunderhome is basically built into a cliff face.
Yeah.
A dwarven hold. It's pretty small. A lot of like zigzag corridors for pike usage, and
A lot of crossbows and ballista.
yeah,
We've gone over
they are well situated in their bunker home. In fact, their
So you going yourself sounds like a primo idea.
their asset is that they have a very, very well guarded area.
Yeah, he'll try to, like, arrange a meeting just outside their city. Come himself to show, how gracious and serious he is about this.
Not always a friend.
All this indirect, message via messengers, it's just not personal enough,
Sure, though certainly people are wary when they see the dragon land. That has historically not been a good thing.
I mean, that's about to change. It's historic.
You can do your action with influence treasure. Sounds like you want to be personally invested here for a +1.
I think so.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You figure Thunderhome is opposing this?
They will try to oppose you, influencing their hearts and minds in this manner. They do so with influence plus territory. Okay, not fantastic. So it goes. Now, you I mean, they can't delete your 7s with their 6s.
So they can't deny that even though they might disagree with Valignov's methods, it's actually going to turn out great for them. No more uncertainty whether that deal is going to be accepted or not, and all that.
It means that you have shifted not necessarily the leadership, but the minds of the people there with your visit. I mean, it's probably not just you sitting outside. It's probably you coming inside, being seen by people because they can't rightfully like deny you. Without clear insult. They're not really interested in they don't want to fight you.
Yeah, exactly.
They would like to think that if you tried to attack their homes, they would defeat you, but they don't really want to roll the dice on it. So it's a whole affair, right? You're shown around, you converse, have a meal. There's some little bit of discussion. Probably, I mean, it's treasury and influence, so it's both your reach, but also your ability to look at the part of someone successful. And you managed to convince some other people that maybe this is not maybe this is not the end of the peace between dragon and dwarf.
Maybe he even brings a few gifts,
Yeah. That'd be rare.
Valignant bringing gifts? Who are you? What have you done with Valignant?
Well, they wouldn't be so much gifts as proof of his amazing ability to craft things.
And I mean, given that they're dwarves and they don't want to owe the dragon, they'd give reciprocal gifts of the similar value. As is tradition. Give him some beard rings.
Right.
It's a great honor, really.
Surely he will wear them when next he visits.
So he's given gifts to the lizard folk before, and then, that eventually paid off. Sort of. Still paying off. In the process of paying off, surely.
Sure. All right. Yeah. and the leadership now find that their populace is grumbling in a little bit of the other direction. That maybe what's best for Thunderhome is what they should be worried about, and not so much about these humans. Human affairs and whatnot. If they insult the dragon, that's on them. That.
I mean, seems fair.
Because their current goal is not, I can reveal, to make alliance with Elphasalt. Yeah. Anything else you want to get done before other people begin doing things?
I think that's enough for now, at least from Valinor's side.
All right, Eri, the Marked. You can
Yes.
return, having now made your acquaintances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just looking here.
And to tell you what, you didn't get this chance at the beginning, but if you have questions about a faction in Westgate, you can ask, and I will give you an answer.
Well,
you live here, after all.
then I would ask about the Red Wizards. What is their standing there?
All right. This is an enclave for the Red Wizards, meaning that they're not all here, nor does this place have their full support. As with Comir, the Red Wizards are a faction that uses a clock to determine their investment in the region of the Dragon Coast. Right now, the Red Wizards are not really super invested. They're establishing themselves. This means that all the rolls they do with only half their dice pool, effectively working as if they were half their real strength. Nor do they particularly employ assets, as those are not really important at the moment. Which means that the enclave is still fairly strong, honestly. A couple of Red Wizards and their servants are a force to be reckoned with, but you could act against them. They are not overly powerful. I'll tell you, their might is 3. Their sort of highest stat. If that was what you wanted to know.
Yeah.
Beyond that, they have currently actually find the list here. I call them they. Currently, they're actually putting out the word that any gangs or groups that might line up with them, they are looking for information in the region. Anyone that might join up with them could see some magical items or power go their way. Looking to gather allies amongst the locals. Some foreign manpower. To investigate and search for certain bits of information the Red Wizards are tight-lipped about, but also interested in finding. Apparently in regards to escaped renegades from Fae. Their civil war was swift and harsh, but some people apparently did make it out.
Okay.
Which is a lucrative offer. They're generally known for keeping their word insofar as it pays them, or it does good for them. And people don't want to mess with you if you're wearing the symbol of the Red Wizards.
Well. The Cicatrix, will ponder this. Magic items is a good price. God, I would love to be a double agent in there. I feel like that's
There are
the best
known
thing.
examples of individuals profiting from being Fae and double agents.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Planning some, I don't know. I would, if they truly are looking for other Red Wizards here to destroy them, I am very fine with that.
Well, I mean, that seems to be what people believe on the grapevine. Which means some people are like, we don't really want to mess with any of that. While others think that it's just a good way to profit. Mostly people who are at the bottom think it's a good way to profit.
How's the standing between them and the Cult of Ismaria?
Well, you have 2 influence, so that's 2 free questions per game. Yeah, that's how we've done it. Beyond that, you can do actions to learn more. Basically, send your people out.
Hmm.
The Cold of Asmodeus and the Thayans have not interacted yet. However, it could be, given that the Cold of Asmodeus currently is looking for allies and the Thayans are looking for allies, that there is a chance they might link up. It does not seem like their desires are opposing. And given that you know that they might actually have some business together, relevant business, it could be thought that someone from the cult might reach out to
Oh,
see what they could do.
we don't like that.
Apparently, to your newfound thought, your soul is owed to hell, and
That's
apparently
what
hell wants
a
you to.
certain
Yeah,
sludgering might have
yeah,
hinted.
apparently hell wants you to fail and die. So
Well, I am torn between trying to. Well, I'm definitely gonna need more power here, obviously, since those two are here, not liking it. The question is who to steal it from. It's really.
Mhm. So this is the first time you're really using this system. So feel
Yeah.
free if you have any questions. Something you can do if you temporarily want more power, say to prepare for an attack, is that you can temporarily increase your power, basically by like recruiting new gang members or something like that. Rolling other stats to if you get a success, increase your might by 1, say, until the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know.
But like I don't know. There's a lot of factions here.
Yes.
How would it work? Like, would I attack a certain faction here, or?
So Westgate functions as a microcosm. Essentially, all these guys are within reach. You can attack any of them, and it's Westgate, so they will be angry at you, but no one will be super surprised that that 5 factions fight within the city.
Okay.
Cormier wouldn't care, and nor would anyone else really, except for other factions in Westgate might care. They try to keep each other in check generally.
I don't know, man. I don't know how to gain power here, so I'll ponder it for a bit.
Sure, that's perfectly acceptable. I'll begin doing things with some of the factions that are not here, though. For example, we have the very interesting faction of the Red Banner, which generally the Dragon Coast thinks should just stay the hell away. They're a bunch of rowdy mercenaries and soldiers with no war to fight anymore, and apparently they are going into the Shilmista forest. So let's see how that goes for them. We'll roll their dice and say that they do something, but is not very impressive, fighting their way slightly into the forest. I don't even think that Amn would actually care about such a little progress, though. Amn's eyes are upon them. Some believe that should they provoke too much, Amn could lash out and maybe see the plains as potential extension of the Amn sphere of influence. As such, some people want the Red Banner host to just stop. Most can agree that if they just drummed into the Underchasm here, no one would be sad about it. Elversalt was attempting to rebuild these little coastal cities, but is having real trouble right now. Elversalt is in a state of somewhat anarchy. They don't get to take any actions at this time. Then we have, again, you can just interrupt me if you want. We have other things happening. Cormier and Iriabor over here are both attempting to influence Priya Pearl here, settlement, to engage in defensive alliances with them. One of them is going to get it, given what's happened to Elversalt recently. The view is that you need a greater faction to protect you. So they will each be attempting to do their thing. Now, Cormier is, of course, vastly greater than Iriabor, but they only roll with half their dice, as they're currently not mobilized halfway through their little route there. They're still passively engaged in the region. Nope. And yes, all right, Freya Pearl with, for now, align themselves with Erebor, making an alliance of these 3 cities, of Erebor, Easting, and Freya Pearl. This will gain much acclaim, as it means that people can avoid Cormyrian taxes. Which is, of course, good for them. Then we have Tessir, the city of Tessir. Currently, the wasted wheat has gotten strength. There's other things going on. Tessir's current desire is to try to stay independent, and the merchant lords look upon this newly sprouted faction, and they sneer. They do not like this, and they want it stomped out. And they, all things considered, have the power. The wasted wheat has people, but they do not have wealth, nor do they have any particular territory beyond their shanty towns. As such, the city of the Tessir will try to expel them from the city, keeping them outside the walls. They will try to do so by striking them. A symbolic victory to knock them to the ground and show that they are nothing. Oof, all right. Oof. That is quite a thing. I don't even think the Wasted Wheat will defend against that. They will instead be pushed out of the city, taking a hit to their territory. And their morale. As this year has certainly shown that they are not willing to negotiate on this fact. This rabble will work for nothing but food and maybe shelter, or they will leave if they're not happy with it. They're not welcome in the proud city of Tessir. The Breton smugglers are doing theirs to rebuild the eel fort. How wonderful that is that they're doing such a thing. So we'll see how they. Ooh, yes, they do very well. With their previous progress, I think it's safe to say that that the eel fort has been restored to a livable standard, and that they can stay within.
Okay.
Cormyr is sad to lose Priya Pearl. That was something they had hoped to gain. But that just means that if they can gain Elversalt, they can tax everything anyway. And Elversalt is somewhat in a bad way, with dragons and all. As such, Cormyr will offer their support to Elversalt, attempting to gain influence there.
That's something that I could post somehow.
I think you could move in to oppose them, yeah.
I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Like
the fact that Elversalt will not defend against Cormyr.
Yeah, the fact that something else might try to move in and its sorry state is pretty much expected.
And of course, this asshole who just provoked like Cormyr's ire is going to oppose like Cormyrian interests. Like,
yeah, it'll be non-violent, though, I assume.
Yes.
You'll try to defend with your influence and treasury, or is it territory? I feel like it makes sense to be treasury since you're not acting in your own territory.
Yeah, it's almost like you're doing counter-espionage instead of like actually like defending against it.
Makes sense.
So this will then be I believe, dynamic roll to try to see who can. No, you're not trying to do it yourself. You're trying to stop them. So it's definitely contact. All right, they will roll with half of their current ability, gaining no success.
I mean, then I don't really need to defend either, do I?
No, not really. It's Cormyr, though. They'll try again.
Sure.
They will try again. Gaining no success.
All right, not my problem.
Humbled. The mighty are. They might still gather some strength, but yeah, they will.
I have a thing.
Yes.
You might get a kick out of this. Imi Zure Lidrafir will request that Veligneth provide armaments temporarily for the Wasted Wheat faction. They can be given to her, which she'll then end up like dispersing, so that he's not like directly taking agency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can roll to temporarily increase the Wasted Wheat's might score.
He will gladly supply.
Currently, they have a score of 3, mostly because there are many of them, but they're badly equipped and not really trained.
And that is 7 dice. Yeah, sovereignty plus territory. Double 2s. The success.
You just need a success. Yeah.
All right.
As a month or so will be spent producing weapons.
When that happens, I think my dragon would come to the Wasted Wheat in the guise of a sealed cane, her like human like merchant form. And I don't know whether these like individuals are going to care too much about her motivations one way or another. But she's heard about the tragedy. They were recently expelled from Tazir, and she wants to make sure that they're kept safe here in these dangerous times, without like requests for like payment or compensation.
They will gladly accept an offer to share their meager meals with the traveler.
Yeah, she'll accept.
All who come to them, even people from other places have come to them. The banner they fight under, the idea that people have value in the fact that they are people, that they're that they have value is something that speaks to many of the people who are currently taught that they have none by those who have anything.
Yeah, and so to ask a question right now before I take action involving like the area south of Redenseer, there's not folks like traveling with caravans trying to come here yet, because I can't really like start influencing folks until like they start trying to come through.
I put the road down because
Okay.
at this point it has been established. The bridge has been recently completed, and others are certainly going to take action to begin doing things with the travelers.
Okay.
So basically, we're in the first ones that begin to come here. People who are eager and who are testing the roads, so to speak. And if they do well, then the thought is that there's currently nothing blocking them really.
Yeah, I did the Were-Rats did a great job ensuring that. Then I think like Imizure wants to put the Were-Rats to action there south of Redenseer to make provide like the user like license agreement, like the terms of service for any caravans that are seeking to travel the convenient and comfortable like new route to Redenseer. Basically, you are to provide a tithe to show respect to Malar, so that your civilization may continue to endure. If you do so, the Were-Rats provide a banner, a nicely like lovely stylized banner with the claw there, to ensure that hey, you are accepted in Malar. You've paid like a tribute of passage, and so your civilization may continue to endure. And if you don't, Malar is not responsible for what happens next.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
You want to establish that as fact and rule.
Yeah, establish that as fact and rule, that everyone who wants to use this as trade like knows that coming into the situation.
Yeah, that seems like basically the role would determine how well that goes for you. Right?
Yeah.
I'd say, and this is something I'm going to be doing more. I have a nice little table here with things that I should remember. So DM running this thing, and one of them is to give temporary to give die roll modifiers based on current situations. And this is one of those situations I believe would qualify for having a better roll, given that you've prepared the road already. So
yeah,
worked out a lot of things. So let me just find my little table here. Let's see.
Sure.
Now the Were-Rats are the only ones. You know.
I think this would be a significant success, which means that you can turn one of your dice into an expert die.
Okay.
Allowing you to pick the number before you roll.
All right. So what attributes am I rolling here?
Well, given that is it fair to say that part of it is intimidation?
Yeah, I think so. Like, you see the green dragon there, like the were-rats like gesture over, and she's, often flying over this area because she uses it as a hunting ground. That's why it's so clear of like monsters that might attack caravans.
Hmm.
She eats food here.
Yeah. I'm gonna call this policing. I think you're controlling your territory, if you will.
Yeah.
That uses might and sovereignty
Okay. Might and sovereignty.
to establish your control.
All right.
And essentially, what this will do, if you do well on it, it will be to make an opportunity for you, should you continue this, to up the value of your territory.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Might and sovereignty. I'm personally involved here by the very necessity of this, so I'll go ahead and take that, and I will spend a point of Draconic essence, and I'll mark that down because no effort wasted here. Get these merchants in line now so that I don't. They start paying me now. Yeah. Mark that on my log.
So the money can come in without doing anything.
Yeah, that's the dream. All right. So, and I have an expert die there, so I'll set that to 10.
All right.
But sovereignty 3, might 2. That's 5 dice. 1 for being personally involved is 6, and then I have the expert die of 10. Okay. Go ahead and plug that in.
Oh God, man. Who are you?
He is success.
Oh my
So
god.
that's 4 10s. I mean,
What does that even mean?
it means that the success is instant, incredibly fortuitous, and works out perfectly.
Yeah, people are like, praise Millar!
I mean, basically, it's like, all right, Millar is willing to keep the roads safe. Good. They had heard, and I'll just give you this. They had heard actually that some followers of Nobanian were warning them that the road north would be dangerous because a dragon lurks there, a dark thing that wishes the end of society and such. And we're trying to gather some supporters for maybe ousting it to protect the land. But that seems, I mean, hard to argue with this. There's no monsters. You pay a small fee, and then you can just go. Yeah.
It really isn't the interest of the man, you know? Oh my god.
Yeah, for the people in chat, that wasn't 3 10s. That was 4 because he had a 10 prepared, basically. Expert die.
Yeah, it also means that if someone acts because you're policing in your territory, if they don't get this roll or better, then you will know that they did it. Basically, it's also this role you would use to oppose or like to prevent people doing unconventional warfare. So for this year, there's a quadruple 10.
Literally no effort wasted.
There's no chance anyone could do that. Like, yeah.
All right.
So
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and subtract.
yeah.
Damn.
Go ahead and subtract.
Maybe you should fight the Red Wizards in the Osmosis. I feel like they'll be gone tomorrow.
I think
Like, man, this luck from last time can't continue. You know,
Right?
but then it just does. You know?
I'll go ahead and subtract sovereignty by 1. I think the were-rats are kind of like, I thought we were like here, like overthrowing civilization. Like, what the fuck is this? And they don't get it.
They're probably pretty okay with it. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah,
They'll get over it next year.
now they have to work.
It'll work. And they cleared the land, and then suddenly this happens.
What do they do next? Building roads and taverns.
God.
Serving
The-
ale to travelers.
The other
job, they could just do it, and people would give them money.
the other thing I want to do, and God, now I feel like so dirty and sinful now because like now I've used that, and I should have done the other action first. There's these armed people with weapons, that they're looking towards the merchant lords of Desir and they're wanting vengeance. What I need to do is like, I got to open up a gate for them. You know,
Oh.
I got to give them like an opportunity to go in, like back into the city that they were booted out of. So I think that's what I want the Were-Rat Coven to do, like an unconventional, like here, like open the gate for them. Aha!
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're playing like a total war game, and ta-da, the spy
Yeah.
has opened up the gate.
Yeah, I mean, that's unconventional warfare, right? You want to sneak in, you want to open a gate
Yeah.
to give attackers a bonus. Attacking.
Yep.
It's one of those circumstantial modifiers.
Yeah. So I'm rolling Might and Treasure against their Might and Territory. Is that right? Am I going to be rolling Might and Treasure on this?
Might and Treasure, I believe, is what you do for it. Might and Influence, right? To do
Okay. All right. Might and Influence.
to unconventional warfare.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Might and Influence rolls to perform an act of unconventional warfare. Okay, yeah. Sinister operatives.
It's your strength and your ability to project it.
So that's Might 2, Influence 3, and then I get +2 bonus on this roll. So that's 7 dice. All right. No, nothing.
Well,
Not for lack of trying, guys. You did a lot of work.
they were in there and everything, but the merchant lords are. I mean, the thing is, there's also a couple of other organizations currently working in this city to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of makes it difficult when your plans intersect. You know, when they go there and they meet some like slavers at the gate,
Right.
and
Yep.
it sort of ends up in a brawl or something. And
Yeah, like I haven't like tried to coordinate with any of those other factions. So I don't like want to reveal and expose myself on that front. The Were-Rats get in there and then like a fucking collective shrug. You guys tried. Like, it can't all be awesome.
Mm.
All right, I go ahead and subtract influence by 1. I think Evizuri will be just like these other groups around Desir will just have to do some shit. That's fucking it. I think the only other thing I want to do is something like a personal action. I don't think I'd send to Were-Rats because they failed to do this last year. I think she wants to head towards the Gulfmere Forest and just start like scoping it out and just spend most of her time there.
Sure. Anything particular she's looking for? 'Cause the
Yeah,
forest
she's looking.
is massive.
Yeah, she's looking for signs of the Emerald Enclave.
All right.
She wants to reconnect with Amrath, or if not Amrath, then someone else, like other worshippers of Malar, to basically say like, "Hey, how's it going, fellow Malar worshippers? I too am a worshipper of Malar."
They're notoriously antisocial.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
Yeah. It's not something like she can like the Were-Rats. She sent them like twice in a year, and they weren't in any hurry. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm not going to take it out of action. We did it, folks. Were-Rats basically just like have carte blanche to police and parties. So actually, I have a thing for that, don't I? I have a improve the culture to temporarily improve sovereignty and perhaps permanently raise it. We might look at that next year. All right. Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Then we have other factions doing things. The Harpers want to destroy the Cult of the Dragon, particularly now that Elvisald is weakened. They want to help. And you know what? Cormyr attempted here to do things, and the Harpers actually want that to succeed. So they will begin, starting here, by pulling their influence to also try to sway Elvisald towards Cormyr. That's something they would like to do, and they're really good at it.
I would rather that not happen.
So they will do their role. This is, if you will, the Harpers specialize in. As they will pull upon their massive network of informants and rich donors. And do double ones, so that's a success. Unless you want to oppose them.
They got double 6s in there
Also
too.
double 6,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think like William's not a very like subtle influence type of person. So no.
He doesn't want to go and discuss with some of these people.
But it walks in there and goes, well, you see. But what about the Cult of the Dragon? Those are fine folk.
I love to imagine just like a pair of dwarves like being your influence agencies. Like, if you guys do this, he might come back next year.
Seems
like
a little bad for
intimidate.
you. I dreamt of a storm. In Westgate, the cult of Asmodeus wants to act. Because they want to try to influence the Centaurum in their direction. This is difficult because the Centaurum currently is fighting itself, which means it's going to take very few actions, if any, against the outside world, but try to stop anyone who attempts to influence it to influence it. However, the Centaurum is a fairly strong power. Should they be united, they are they have long been a terror in the realms, sort of a negative to the Harpers almost. Particularly in Westgate, they have a mercenary company, and the Black Network has many connections here. So the cult will try to influence them. That looks like a failure to do so. A shame. A shame. Will they try again? No, not for now at least. They will hold out on it. They try just to help the Bane side of the Centaurum sort of civil war, but the guy they sense gets killed by a Cyric worshipper, so what can you do? Diane down here wants to begin raiding some of the caravans that don't pay, but I think given the 10s, he doesn't have any. So I guess he just gets to be a little sad and go home. I mean, what are you going to do?
It's working too well.
Nathlan is acting to increase the strength of the Cult of Nobanian. They are offering them support in might and power. As such, they will try to leverage their territory to do so. That looks
They
like
got a pair of threes.
success.
And 4.
Oh, yeah, they got 4s and 3s.
And
Why don't your numbers auto-sort, Manikai?
They
Yeah.
don't. The Macro hasn't done that.
grab the macro eye on the Dragonfane. That sorts them.
Then I will get that Macro.
Right?
Good Macro then. Good. And here, see, here thought they just happened to be that way.
Yes. Every single time.
How do you grab it?
It's on campaign properties. Do you want it?
Yes. I don't have any roll macro.
Put it on your marked thing. Now they have it.
Oh.
Good. Then the Cult of Nobanian will do things. They will move and declare that their mission now is to make the plains safe again for the for the travelers, the trade that's opening up. They'll make sure that civilization can spread, and that settlements can be created on the south side of the river and the lakes. In peace with nature, of course, and following the strength of Nobanian, they want peaceful settlement and believe that could be a solution to the problems in Tizir. They don't have the influence to actually reach and influence the people over there. But, they will cross the river and sit here with the support of Athel. Faye wants to ally people. There are some people around. Who could they make work with them? They don't want to get involved with Centaurum. Centaurum is too difficult, too annoying. The Night Masters, though, they seem like they could be good allies. And so they will offer them, some payment in return for their help. Looks like that is a 9 success. Does the Marked want to try to oppose it, or is that too much to...
Yeah, that looks like a lot.
All right, as the Thayans will will pay to have some of these people work with for now, at least. Getting to help pick the agenda of the Night Masters going forward, at least for the next year. That's acceptable to them. They're not super activated at the moment. Sembia. Sembia is worried. They see Tessir and they know that Cormier is behind this rebellion. Cormier loves Chantia worshippers and gods of good and monks and such.
Ugh.
They wish to bring their support behind the merchant lords because they also don't want this to become a thing. That popular uprisings happen. That's not something they're interested in. Then again, I mean, they don't really want to spend too much money on it. I think for now they will monitor the situation. That seems like what they do. They certainly have a no effort wasted sort of idea too about what to do. The Emerald Enclave is trying to work.
Put down a focus group.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Is going to work on what they have been working on, which is gathering the knowledge and ability to cleanse the lands surrounding Starmantle. Yeah, that's what they're currently trying to do. As such, they will try to muster their forest. Oh, that's pretty well. All right. That makes some progress. Yeah, and I think maybe in that respect, Missouri might encounter some, because they're out there looking for creatures that they can pick up to do something about Starmantle, and Emrith is available in the region, though. Does it change Missouri Literathir's scouting when she notices the many Wemmicks moving from the northern border of Nathland towards the plains?
I don't think it directly changes her approach, other than gonna have to keep an eye on that. I think the scouting mission is there, still cognizant in her brain, but that's next year's problem, you know.
Yeah. All right. After probably it's gonna be late in the year. She will succeed in finding a shrine, and probably one that Amrath is going to be at.
Oh my!
The druid being certainly on guard and on watch for the Wemmicks, for whom he has an old enmity. He scouts out.
She still wears
he probably sees the dragon and will.
Yeah. She still wears the talent amulet that he gifted ever so long ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he recognizes it. Probably also because of that. You know, there's probably not. There's other green dragons in this forest.
Right.
It's a very big forest.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a surprise for her, with how immense this forest is, to actually find him.
Turns out he stays at the edge.
Yeah.
Be ready to act. He's a proactive druid compared to some.
He sure is. She'll descend down to approach him.
Sure. There he is.
Lands.
Good old Amrith.
The gray-green dragon lands. Giving Amrath a look over. It's been several years,
Yeah.
Praises him.
He's
See whether he's still carrying around the weight and guilt of his actions.
No, not really.
Okay.
About that, it's far away.
Yep. It's okay. I do that to my problems too. That might be a human thing.
She is. He's here. There's a couple of other druids with him, though they prefer to stay in their beast forms.
Yeah.
As many Malorite druids prefer to do.
She lands, and as a way of greeting, she says, "I had not anticipated that in my surveying of the Gothmere that I would chance upon you again, Amrath."
Just had you come some years ago, you wouldn't have. For all I know, you did. But these beasts, Banyan's on the move. He's returning to the region. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Go ahead and copy my token over to look at him. There we go. She says, yes, I saw them moving as I flew over the Gulfmere. I am uncertain right now of their intent, other than to cause me a headache.
Thought perhaps they would enter the forest, hoping to claim it for their god. But Nobanian has always been a plains god, not a forest god. Makes sense, it's the territory he wants to regain, and you never were a friend to them.
No.
Smiling, like melancholically, fondly. It's not that long for her, maybe, but to him, it's a long time, like 5 years or.
Yeah. She says, yes, I recall your assistance in claiming that shrine and converting it from Nobanian to Malar. It is understandable, but that those Wimics would still smart after that defeat and look to avenge it.
They have gathered allies from the south. More creatures like them. Things that should pride themselves in the gifts they've been given, instead of denying their nature.
She snarls. Says, looking to support and help civilization, as if coddling them is going to help get them stronger.
Shakes his head. Keeping the weak of the pack alive only slows down the rest. Nature has the right of it. We've seen it over and over again.
Yes. Only the strong survive.
He just nods as it's it's a natural thing.
Yep, and she looks favorably upon him because he must be strong to still have survived.
He is, though. A dragon is a different level of strength.
Absolutely.
Many of the Enclave believe that this is not our current concern. The ruins of Starmantle and the threat they pose to our dominance in the region should be our main concern. I believe differently. We must project our power. We must spread the word.
She says, I thoroughly agree. You spend time with Starmantle, and by the time you look around, you see that civilization has cropped up all beyond the Gulfmere. She bobs her head. I can envision that. Particularly if those Wimics are getting support from the south.
Oh yeah, he agrees. He's a radical in that manner. Some of the Obadiah followers. Well, we might currently be and he says we as Malarite worshippers, right? Might currently be the dominant faction within the Enclave, but there are many others, and it is easier to find consensus in acting on Starmantle than on anything else. There is none who would say we should simply leave that be.
She shakes her head. Consensus. If it were the idea of consensus, then you would not have ventured out, and I would not have chanced upon you in the Serpent Valley.
He nods and sort of spits slightly and says, yes, it is a filthy thing. Our leader could destroy them, but he chooses to listen because of the power he gains. In that, I sense some weakness. Perhaps he is not fated to last forever. Yet, for now, it is how it will be.
She says, are you bound to remain here in this forest? Can you not venture out again as you once did?
I can, but I am also getting older. I probably have another 100 years in me, perhaps. Yes, half-elven heritage showing. Yet, there are many mysteries I do not understand. You ask because you wish to see me returned, I wonder. Slightly intrigued, perhaps, by the thought.
Yeah. She says, I came here to the Gulfmere to look for you and other Malorites, to commune in a way that I have not been able to since your departure to the Enclave. I am alone, in a sense, and it would be good to be less alone.
The Enclave is certainly split, but the Malorites are not. We know what needs to be done. It's bloody work, and we'll do it. To cull the herd, so to speak. If you're interested in doing that, so it's the word a bit.
She says, I most certainly am, Amrath. I most certainly am.
He smiles to himself, feeling a little bit of pride, like he feels maybe a little bit of ownership over her conversion to Malar and sort of
Well,
introducing the concepts. And this is turning out, this is turning out great for him.
She says, I have seen you kill, but I have not seen you fight meaningfully. It would be good to see that in the 100 years or so you have left before you get too old to embrace Malar's teachings.
He nods to that again. Then looks to the others behind him and ponders for a moment. He does have things he would like to do here. Swaying the Enclave is certainly one of them. Then again, out there might be direct measures, and I think he'll voice that a slight bit and say, were civilization at our doorstep not a threat, then the Enclave could take their time with Star Mantle before returning to the actual task. Could perhaps done. Decimate the cities to the north enough and the south that no one would be willing to or able to settle further.
What is it about this star mantle that has so captivated your enclave?
It is a scar upon the land. It was a city of magic for the fall. After the plague, it is a growing wound in the forest. It twists plants and beasts. You've seen it, the spell scarred.
She very that is still something that very much makes her angry.
The whole city is such a wasteland, plagued by crystalline creatures, abominations of nature. To fight them is to be infected, and so it is a dangerous, terrible task. It is certainly not something we should allow to grow, but it is also something that requires substantial effort to combat.
She says, agreed. I understand all too well. And the amount of time that it takes to try and purge those ruins, who knows what beyond this forest could change.
Then the question remains where I can do the most good for the cause.
She says, well, if your entire enclave is concerned with the ruins, how much does your presence add to that compared to where the enclave is not projecting?
He nods. It is sort of what he hopes to hear. He never was one to really love the sort of conversation and the politicking, because it's hard to argue that they should leave the spell plague alone to spread.
Absolutely. It's not a good position.
It's not a good, yeah. Yet he still kind of wants that because he's devout, if you will. He believes this is the right way forward, and so he will look to the others and say, I might even be able to bring some colleagues. Others who might be similarly inclined.
She says, I still dwell where you helped me clear so long ago. I trust you will be able to find. Should you require assistance before moving, do let me know. I have some time to spare before I make my return.
We have been looking out for the cult of the Banyan, but they have stayed clear of the forest, perhaps expecting us to be here. It seems they think if we are fight, they will take another day. Though I'm sure they would want to take it.
Then it is great. You will be where they do not expect in the future.
Yeah, he nods as he grits his teeth slightly. Perhaps they will learn savagery.
Or die in the attempt. Yeah, she'll spend some time with him, like catching up. Like she kind of missed him actually.
It's nice and validating.
Yeah, it is for both of them.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're definitely right in everything we believe in.
Yeah, all right. It's a good feedback loop there. All right. Kill later.
They're dire beasts in this forest. And though that's a tough fight for them, for her, she's at a size now where a dire bear, yeah, she could take it.
All right. Yeah.
It's maybe a delightful feeling of power too.
Hunt some different things that she doesn't get to, like around her lair, and yeah, she'll hang out with the Malorites, connect, schmooze, and then she'll head back there. Unless she's provoked, she's done for the year.
Yeah. All right. How about the two of you? Do you have any?
I definitely have things left to do. Did the Cult of the Dragon do anything yet?
Not yet.
Sort of waiting what they are doing and how successful they are.
Sure, they happen to have a low initiative though. Yeah, Thunderhome would be next.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah, Ari, do you have anything?
I'm really blanking out on what I can do, honestly.
Understandable. There's a lot of options and choices and such.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can work towards like influencing opinions of other groups against a faction you don't like. Like, hey, the Cult of the it's like maybe
more against trying to gather more power elsewhere.
Okay.
I don't know if I can roll to try and know about trade routes and such going out from Westgate.
Oh, yeah, you know that already. Trade routes leave along this red path, going west, or along the sea, going this way. Westgate is, as such, the gate to the west. The west meaning mostly the Sword Coast, which is outside of this map. Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, so forth.
Right.
Trade comes in here, and then it sort of goes along the roads, traveling that. Cormier doesn't really have a connection. The Anrock Desert is in the way for them. So trade certainly, mostly by sea, goes to Westgate. The trade south don't really go to Westgate. They goes to Tessir and then further west or north. Because people want to avoid Westgate because it's full of thieves and murderers, right? So, if you can, you try to. The Captain's Council would be a faction that's currently interested. I can tell you their current goal is to find a way to profit from the land trade to the south. Because currently, they're profiting from, they're honorable merchants, as they would call it. And they currently are losing profit on the sea trade, as it were, because Cormier's massive fleet is making problems for them. They're trying to gain Sembian support, but beyond that, they want to oppose.
Why is Cormier's lawful good fleet causing problem for the honorable merchants?
Yeah, that's they don't answer that. But
weird.
Yeah, it's a problem for them. So they might be ripe for influencing if you're interested in things on the sea.
Yes, I definitely am. I just don't know. I can't fight the Cormirian fleet.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you could.
I mean, maybe I could. Yeah, I mean, how would I roll that?
So, yeah.
I guess I would have to make contact with
them. You can influence them easily enough.
Okay.
Find them in a bar, have your people talk to them, and try to make friends. What you do there is basically to do espionage. Basically, you're doing covert things to make things happen. For that, you use influence and treasury as a role. If people try to stop you, they would use influence and territory. One of the things you can do when you do that is you can change minds. Essentially doing what Sheep did, or rather what Cormier tried to do. So,
Right.
or what the Red Wizards did to the Night Masters. Try to make them your friend. If there's no one opposing it and they don't oppose the idea, should you succeed, they will have no reason to not be your friend because they want that too.
Okay.
So essentially, that would be making con. Command your people to do it, and then we roll to see how well they do.
Yeah. Could I like? So how does temporarily increasing your stat again? Like, what do you roll for that?
Depends on which stat you would want to increase. But generally, you roll sovereignty and another stat, and if you get any success, you get a +1 to the stat you wanted to temporarily increase.
Hmm.
So, which stat are you thinking of increasing?
I don't know. I just don't like having a pool of 4 dice, man.
Yeah, I get that.
So either I suppose influence or treasury. I think more so.
Hey, it could be a well of tens for all you know, just like a reservoir of tens that you just reach in and pull out 10.
I don't think.
That said, I mean, you're in the situation where you could personally be part of it, right? If the
That's
dragon
true.
personally leads the action, they gain +1 die.
Yeah. Oh, she's definitely gonna be the face of this operation, as she really is most of the time.
Not a dragon most of the time. Oh.
No. I mean, look, she stayed undercover for this reason. Like, she did that somehow. It was not by being a big bad dragon flying over and destroying cities.
Doesn't have to be dignified.
But that matters is the result.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, could I like?
So the thing is, raising treasury would make sense if you earned or gathered money, right? And you generally do that through your territory. So you'd roll sovereignty and territory to try to increase treasury.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that, I suppose.
It's 4 dice.
I was gonna say, not a better roll, really.
Need a success, then you have
Is
treasury.
it worth it? Is it versus she?
That's a success.
Yes, it is worth it. So go 1 down in sovereignty.
Yeah. How we began doing it, if you hover over Lignus token, you can see just because you don't permanently decrease it, you just write -1 after the number.
Yeah.
And then +1.
For treasury?
You'll want to also share your token with the other players so that, say, Sheep can mouse over it and be able to see the stats, because right now he can't.
Oh.
Unless you want to keep it secret from us, too. And the viewers.
No, I am. Yes, fine. Well, then I'll try and make influence the captain's council, which
Alright.
normally I would try to get treasure by pirating, but I suppose that is not the way to get them to do more sea travel.
Cormier currently opposes piracy.
Yeah, well, yeah. If only Cormier wasn't so invested.
Yeah.
Only Cormier didn't care so much.
Yeah. So that would now be 5 dice, and since she's invested, 6 dice, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No one's opposing it here.
Oof.
And it probably wouldn't go well for them if they did.
All
Yeah.
right.
You basically make friends, if you will, with the captain's council, discovering that they are in fact pirates. Yeah, most of them,
I
unbelievably.
figured,
Many
I
of
like
them
pirates.
are pirates. They have ties to the Church of Umberley. So we'll move them over here. They believe that you can do things together by helping each other, and we'll try to converse with you in future about what should be done.
Oh, well, this pleases me greatly.
They are particularly interested in finding another way to make money, or perhaps to deal with this Cormyrian navy somehow. That's certainly troublesome.
Yeah, I mean, Cicatrix will certainly say, well, she would prefer dealing with the Communary fleet because she has more assets. We avoid her.
The Captain's Council suggests maybe contacting Sembia, because they certainly would love some privateers who could damage that fleet.
Interesting.
Best way to do that is to sink a couple of them. Well, not the
Cinco.
Sembians, ideally, but maybe a Sembians. I mean, Captain's Council is not really too picky
Yeah.
these days.
So I still have to remove a stat, right?
Yes, we still temporarily decrease one for it.
So that can it be the +1 that I gain?
Yes.
No.
You just have no temporary increase.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I have to send a message to Sembia what with
That would
those
be influence and
do.
treasury to try to
Yeah,
send.
then it's not a good idea to.
I mean, it's the same stats, right? So it's the
Yeah,
same.
exactly.
Stats, so
Then
it doesn't
why
really make a
would I
difference.
decrease it? I'll have to do it again.
Well, I mean, because if you decrease influence, that'd be the same total.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think 10 brown. Yeah. I guess I'll. No, that is a long way over.
Yeah. The beer is a snobbish and hard to reach. You need a certain success for them to actually care.
Even if you add the. Well, yeah, I do feel like that.
Grimace 10 hot tips to roll high.
Be
Don't
lucky.
go low. Is the first
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Don't suck.
You
Where's your
too can roll triple and quadruple high numbers.
Get good.
Yeah.
That's right. For 5 easy payments.
G-U-T. Yes.
Believe in yourself.
Well, yeah. Believe in the magic of the cards. I mean, the heart of the cards.
What?
No. Yeah. Would it have more weight if we both contacted them? Like, both me and the council?
The council can help you if you want that.
Yeah.
They could try to temporarily increase your influence, perhaps.
I feel like that would be a good idea.
They can help deck you out a little bit. At least they'll try. So they'll do that. Yeah. Yeah, you have a temporary
They do
increased
it.
influence.
Great.
Now go talk to Sembi.
I'll try.
Well, they helped you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it was good help. Wait, where's my plus? Because of course it's them who failed. No.
Of course.
Not my. Well,
I've heard this attitude before.
Yeah, I mean she's got to do it now because no one has ever gained anything by waiting. That's
Sure. And perhaps that's something we've heard the other dragons spent Draconic essence that they gain from, of course, giving into the compulsion. What is your compulsion?
Oh, how did I word it again? Oh. Yes, I believe my compulsion is that the Cicatrix needs to see everything through. So if there's any chance of her finishing in one go, she will spare no means to do that.
So spare no means? Is that it?
I cannot remember where. I think it's on my dragon token and not on this one.
Okay.
Currently, Dragon Token says "see it done."
Yeah.
All right. See it done.
Oh, that applies to so much.
Yes, she is also a bit of a paranoid.
All right.
It does feel like it's below her to go to Sempia and establish contact, though. But
She gonna go there and see it done and petition there herself.
Seems like you're asking. And that's something we do here. We do self-compel. So if you want to go down and see it done and go to Sempia yourself.
Basically, gotta
seems
humble
like,
yourself before the Symbians.
Yeah, just to make sure it works. That seems like something you would gain a Draconic essence point.
I mean, I think, yeah, she would. Again, see it done. Can she really trust these mercenaries and, you know, her gang people who she recently overtook? They'll probably work better if she's there to look menacingly over their shoulder.
I mean, the +1 die says that yes, it does.
Yes, right? It's established.
All right, then let's see how it goes.
Where do I put the dragon?
I put it on your token. On your dragon token.
Oh.
There's a thing for Draconic.
Okay. Well,
Well,
yes.
but it wasn't.
So let's see the stats. That is influence and treasure, yeah?
Yep.
So that's 6 dice again.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well, there you go. That's above the 6 they would require. You managed to go. That's like, that's the kind of thing we only get to do in this kind of in this sort of high speed thing where we go for years. Is that the dragon actually goes to Sembia and like has conversations.
Not in the form of dragon.
No. Probably insinuating, how,
Hey, those fucking Cormyrians, maybe,
we can be
Choking.
reliable assets.
Yeah.
Help us.
Exactly. The whole smuggler, the common goal of not just her people, but also, the captain's council, who were interested in the trade. Not being disrupted by.
Yeah, it'd be great with trade from Westgate to Sembia if Cormyrian ships were in the way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, usually Sembia would be like, pirates, we don't like them, but they have always been happy to hire privateers to deal with Cormier and then denying it.
I don't see any pirates. I see a council of mercenaries.
Yeah, proud sailors.
Yeah.
As we look at the eye patch wearing, sort of rum drinking.
And all the acid scarred gang members. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, seems like the kind of people they expect from Westgate, really. So, Sembia will add supporting your two gangs when you do things against Cormier's fleet as a list of things. Which means they will begin giving you support by raising your stats temporarily, expecting you then in return to act against Cormier. Should you not, they might be miffed about that.
Yeah, they're very far away.
They'll begin to again.
Yeah, I am very happy with that.
All right. Getting a couple of friends, really.
Yeah, I do have to decrease stats.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Thunderhome. Thunderhome has a problem. Elversalt is an absolute mess, and that doesn't seem to be improving. Their people, however, believe that they should try to talk to Elversalt still. As such, they would love to reach out to Cormier, for maybe not like a protectorate deal, but like just to hear what Cormier would think about a Cormyrian Elversalt. Maybe that would be a good idea for everyone involved. It seems like stability would happen. That said, they've already sort of been blocked in that action. This year, their people are unhappy with that solution to the problems. Such, I think they will just bide their time for now. Let all that stuff sort of fall a little to the wayside.
That is such a dwarven thing to do. They just sit in their hold and
People are grumbling. They
So-
feel pretty secure in their position. No one's coming for them.
Is Elvisalt still looking to ally up with Cormyr?
Elvisald's a mess right now.
Yeah, so they're
The
just
council
hiding.
there has been kicked out because a dragon kept raiding them, and there was nothing they could do about it.
I know.
And people are looking for other interested members, and we're getting to those people now, sort of.
Okay, good. I was gonna
go
say, like,
along. Yeah. As we have the night masks. Currently, they have a desire to take back control of Westgate. Tessier is looking like a crap show right now, which they're very okay with because they would like to request Religna's aid in supporting them so that they can raid some Tesserian places to gain some treasure.
I mean, sure.
Sure. Can you get them some weapons? They would like weapons.
You can do that.
If you please.
That is sovereignty plus territory. Right.
Yeah.
So that is 6 dice. I should not just do /roll 6. That doesn't work. Triple
Well-
ones, quick and shoddy.
All the good weapons were already brought to all the crabby people. Now the vampires get a bunch of spiked clubs or whatever. But it probably works out for them. They got the support they desired. That is great, because now it's time for some unconventional warfare here. What this year? They want to create an opportunity where they can profit. But right now, was it earlier, or were their initiative movement later? They might wait and see what happens. But right now, it seems like Tessier is a pretty strong target. The Merchant Council there has, like, for all the problems the city has, they have power, they have influence, they have a functional city guard, they're a large independent city-state. Something needs to happen, and the Night Masks want to make that happen. As such, what do they want to do here? I mean, they really want to just damage Tesserian, like, guard, really. And they'll do so with unconventional warfare. They will assassinate, or attempt to assassinate the watch captains. Trying to just get rid of them, really.
All right, yeah. I'm interested. Do it, Night Masks. The tension.
Yes, I'm just getting their asset up because I believe they're really good at this, assassinations. Which means they have a great chance of succeeding now. Boom. Well, Tessier is going to not want to have this happen. This is not
dice.
what they want, and so they will try to police might and sovereignty. Sadly, they're not too good at that. Well, looks like they fail.
Yeah. 2 7s and a pair of 7s and a pair of 4s there.
Yeah. And so it is that the Tessier in a night loses 3 of its watch captains. Temporarily decreasing might from squalor and unruliness. The Tesserian people are nothing if not greedy and generally ambitious. And so the watch somewhat degenerates into squabbles about who should be the next captain, decreasing their efficiency quite a bit. Yeah. Nightmasks are pretty happy with that. They know that they're not very popular, and so they don't want to weaken themselves too much by taking more actions. They're actually not in a strong position, all things considered. Right? They wouldn't be too difficult to eliminate for someone. They feel like they did their part. The Blue Sun Guild have decided that Tizir is not actually a great place, and they will move over here to this ruin, hoping that now that Elversalt is going crap, maybe they could rebuild it and use it for their own ends. They might also look at some of the trade in the League of Dragons here as potential. They don't want any of this. Any of this part. Not interested. Order the Basilisk sees the problems in Tizir and thinks, that's not fun. They don't want to be here when all the poor people begin riling up. As such, they will move to Westgate instead, moving their focus there. The Purple Masks have wanted to establish themselves in Elversalt. That seems to not currently work out. Elversalt is kind of shit. So is Tizir. They will also move to the sphere of Westgate.
Necron Pilot.
Oh,
Party
God.
in Westgate.
The Cult of the Dragon wishes to take control of the city council. Yeah, that's pretty much what they want to do, really. They, of course, welcome any aid the Dragonfane might want to offer them beforehand.
Listen, I've done so much.
Yeah, it's true.
You-
They're gonna try no matter what you do.
Just get it done.
Okay.
A lot of ones.
Well, they certainly have opposition. The Harpers do not want this to happen, and will oppose them. Harpers don't live here, though. Will actually fail.
A trio of ones.
Yeah.
R-
Success.
Really selling me on the competence of the Cult of the Dragon.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. As the new council members, will have a large amount of them that are secretly wearing the purple. City's still kind of in the shit, but when things begin going better, they can begin taking power. Though it seems the Harpers are not done with this conflict. They have a lot of influence to spend, even if they mostly it. So we have the Night Masters are good. They're very happy to be employed by someone. Captain's Council, happy to have done what they did. The Wasted Wheat, the newest faction, is going to try to support and save all refugees by demanding things from Tizir. They have been kicked out in the streets. That's not okay. They don't have roofs, nor do they have anything, really. And, they don't like this. They think this is total bullshit. So,
All they have are the weapons that they were gifted by a mysterious stranger.
they will try to strike at Tizir, though at the moment it's a rough fight to take. But if there's a time, it's now. They,
I mean, they don't have any guard captains.
Yeah, they will try to use their asset, their popular movement. They will try to gather more people to raise might. Really. Here. Which they failed to do once. Well, I mean, they can try again, which they will. No more people. No more people for them. It's sad days.
Ugh.
Sad days. They should have had one more die there, actually. So let's just see if that would. It would have. Most excellent. So they do get a few more people. It's good because they think they'll need them. As they will try to get into the city again. This will be a symbolic battle against Tizir. Hoping to weaken the belief in the rulership. They could try to slaughter the city guard, but that's not really what they want to do. Just go in there and butcher.
Probably won't help.
We will attack to destroy people. Like, no. Yeah. So they're still very poor, but they have weapons. They have a strong might right now with their numbers and weapons. Absolutely stronger than Tizir's guard. So we're not going to get any better for them. So let's see what they can do. Ooh, that is a hard goal to fight against Tizir here, who will, of course, try to defend. And they will not just defend; they're Tizir. They go out and sally out to kill some of these dummies. They will definitely counterattack. The merchant lords are nothing if not arrogant. Let's see. Currently, not that great actually. No, they can remove the 5s, but that still leaves the 10s. They will lose the confrontation. In addition to their loss of sovereignty, they will lose an additional might as they attempt to sally out. And, of course, they defend it. Meaning that their current position is certainly precarious, while the wheat is not so badly. Those, and they will tell you what they'll spend their two power. Now comes the question: should they push on?
Narratively, does that mean the wasted wheat make it back into the city?
Yes.
Okay.
They break through the gate. They push in. The city guard that are there surrender. Some of them desert. Currently, the city guard Tezir is down to an effective 1 might. It is a disorganized group of people. They have no real cohesion. The people in Tizir are very unhappy with the Merchant Council and how things are currently going. The thing Tizir still has, though, is treasure and influence. That doesn't really help them in this regard. It would help them if they were to call for aid or something. The real question here is if the Wasted Wheat wants to attempt to continue. They, I mean,
I think I will.
Yeah.
I'll poke my head in here. Get the news. You know, Missouri returns. You know, in the autumn, so late in the year. Like, what's that's happened over there in Tizir? They did it. They're back in the city. All right. That means I don't have to break down the walls. Yeah, I think if their might is suffering pretty rough as it is, that's an opportunity to maybe have the wasted wheat have a chance to lower it permanently. They're at 1 right now. Yeah, I think I definitely think I want the were-rats to take action here.
All right. What kind of action?
Well, the wasted wheat's in the city. Does that mean that we can actually get in the city?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get in the city.
They broke a gate.
Yeah. You know, let's see. And I think what I would like to do is, gosh, how would I even frame an attack?
Like an actual attack?
Yeah, I was considering whether I wanted to do that. I don't think so. I don't think that's. I'm not gonna start poisoning water wells. Yeah, I pull out the guild here. I think now that the city's here, it's you saw that sound victory there the wasted wheat got. So I think she wants to have the were-rats work to convince the people of Tizir that maybe the wasted wheat hero Chantea is in the right. They have the favor. The merchant lords were just summarily thumped. Guards have just vanished. Maybe the merchant lords aren't on this. Yeah, I want to push influence here.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, change opinions. Certainly could. Maybe they're right. Maybe we shouldn't fight.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
I feel like that's fair.
Go
They, of
ahead
course,
and-
will defend. And they're pretty good at they haven't really been damaged in their wealth or influence, as it were.
have not been damaged with their wealth
If
influence.
they
I
do
look
territory to actually, which has been damaged. Yeah, influence.
Yep. Influence and treasure for me, so that's 4 dice. Okay. Pair of 6s.
Ooh, dangerous. We'll have 6 die. Pair of 3s and pair of 2s. Just won't do it. They will fail to stop you
All right.
influencing them.
The were-rats shape change and start now that the wasted wheat's back in the city and that grand battle just happened. Maybe wasted wheat's in the right here.
Yeah.
All the ducks.
People will be talking about that. I mean, many other couple people do believe that this is good. This is the right move. And the merchant lords are looking out. Certainly at the end of the year here, they'll send out a call for, hey, mercenaries, we are generous. We need advanced population suppression methods.
Okay.
Arm, hell, whatever, just say you're someone else. We'll take our money and please do something.
I know that could be opportunities to profit there.
Money, you say? Oh.
Certainly going to look better than the Green Dragon herself, appearing and you're going to pay me to kill these guys? Okay.
And I think Waste might try to continue. I mean, they have a little bit of leeway, but Tizir can rebuild.
Yeah.
They need to push themselves. So they're certainly the little faction that could at the moment. They need money.
Popular support's now behind you.
Yeah. They will try to leverage it to increase their money. They're good at that after. Not a great roll. Now it is a great roll.
Oh
Yes.
no.
Yes, more population, more people now from inside the city will join the marching people as they will march to the very centers and hold they will enforce a demonstration in front of the manors, the opulent homes of the Syrian lords. They will do another attack. Certainly beginning to zero out a lot of their things. So
Yes.
the one thing they haven't touched is their treasury and might, beyond temporary things. So let's see here. They have 5 dice. Double threes? Maybe. Maybe. Then Tizir will try to stop them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Another strike.
3 dice.
The little engine that could.
They have been harrowed by everyone. Even their people aren't happy, and now they're very unhappy. Because any future strikes against Tizir's sovereignty will begin lowering it permanently, which means that they'll be pushed towards disintegration, anarchy. That said,
I think I will act here then. Let's I will hold an attack here. Let's damage the sovereignty. I think the were rats have been in position. They've infiltrated. They're in the city now, and let's start saying I think the goal here is hey, the merchant lords, they can't save anything. Where is the money now? The peasants were cast out of the city earlier this year, and now they're back. The merchant lords are failures. It's basically just I try to I'm trying to think of how I actually phrase that in the form of an attack, because I'm the were rats are actually causing damage. It sounds unconventional though. However, I'm trying to word it because I'm not actually having them actively go there to murder in the streets.
Yeah.
I guess I'm asking for help here. I'm trying to
Yeah, I'm looking for how you do that. I think we could do unconventional warfare. I mean, the thing you would do is sabotage the systems that the merchant lords have in place, right?
Yeah,
shut down postal services or
interfere with the bureaucracy, the government itself.
Make things non-functional. People are mad.
All right. Yeah, we'll go do that. Sounds cool. I have might, I have treasure, and I have 2 dice for unconventional warfare. So I'm rolling 6 dice here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's not going to go herself.
I'm expecting great things here.
Hmm?
We'll see where the road takes us.
10. Oh, well, look at that. Where does the road take us? I mean, they gotta defend though.
Ow.
It's slowly becoming existential at this point. Yeah, they gotta try to battle this stuff. What do they use again for this? They use looks like might and sovereignty. Really? No, surely not. Surely not.
Oh no!
Is that really what they gotta do? I guess this would not go well for them.
Oh no!
Yeah, it looks like that's how you oppose it. Just you police. Well, then I can tell you they will not defend because they cannot. They call for the city guard to do something, but it's just Bob now, and the people don't listen anyway. Okay, yeah. So they will have
Does
another.
this sort of mean that I disguise my involvement as well? Like, can I
You have
extend
two
like?
successes, yes.
Okay.
Though I can tell you right now they couldn't find out because they physically don't have the dice to try.
Right.
Someone else could, and
Yeah.
someone else will take advantage of this current situation. The Night Masks were hoping for something like this to happen, and they want to attack. They want to do some wealth raiding here. They want to gain some money,
Sure.
and yeah, I mean, screw subtlety, right? At this point,
Mhm.
they feel like it's better just to go for it, which they will do. And again, they're not really good at that, so maybe that was a bad decision. But you gotta spend money to make money. Surely the Dragon Fang could support them here. Some better weapons than
Spiked clubs.
cheap.
Excuse me, could you repeat that?
The Night Masks would like some more support.
Well,
More weapons, some more people. Come on, they're friends.
What are they giving?
A future opportunity in Westgate.
I feel like I've given them something, they gotta give something in return first.
Okay, what do you want?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
it sounds like the answer might be no then, because Velignev's already handed out stuff, and they're coming back hand in hand, and well, where's the stuff that you're supposed to pay me?
I mean, if they're raiding for money, they could probably, perhaps get some people as well. Those go well.
Okay.
Which then Velignef can use to get more stuff from the lizard folk.
Sure, slaves. All right.
A bit of a 50-50 on the loot here.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, if that means they win, then yeah.
Okay, sovereignty, territory, that is 5 dice? No, not slash roll.
The Forges have been alive and well this year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they have been.
You want to fund conflict, and yes, that's enough. They'll take it. Yeah, that'll do. They will try to call on their meager territory to see what they can produce in wealth for themselves. Maybe they could. No, that's a no. Okay. No wealth, but they can still try now again to do an attack here. No, doesn't work. They don't actually do it.
Oh, you jerks. Just to confirm, temporarily getting a stat to 0 is fine, right? Just the negatives are bad?
Yes.
Okay.
The negatives turn into permanent loss when they recover. Right now, Tazir has -4 sovereignty. Well, they only, temporarily, but they only have 3. So when the year turns around, they'll go to 2. So you got to pay off that loss with permanent damage.
Oh, that would have been nice if they had been successful.
It would, wouldn't it? But they weren't, and they don't have the ability to continue. They're not that strong in this capacity. They're better at nations. They did that. So.
There are still 2 things that Velignef would like to do this year.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. Tell me about it.
Nothing massive though. He wants to finally secure the valley and like get rid of the worm, basically.
Okay, purple worm, sure.
But he doesn't want to ask for help from anyone.
So you're gonna fight it 1-on-1. I'm hearing.
Ideally, he'd like to collect his people and then just hunt it down with a whole bunch of people, even though you previously said it would go terribly for them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's
That basically just said, like, sentencing them to death and then 1v1ing the purple.
Yeah, that's not much better, is it?
No. He looks at his people. They're strong. But the face one purple worm is...
I mean, alright,
It would have been nice.
it owns the valley now, I guess. It's just gonna stay there. That's so sad. Not gonna ask for help though. It's just gonna stay that way.
I mean, he could try to lure it out somewhere else if he wants to.
Talk about
It could live in Worm's Hamlet, maybe, or go play in the Grove or something.
That's he can't really lure to the hierarchy, can he? Like into the mountains, that doesn't work.
Doesn't like the mountains so much. It likes having soft.
And all the other places, he sort of doesn't have a grudge against.
Mm.
No, it's just gonna stay there.
All right. I mean, it's not really hurting anyone, right?
Yeah. But the other thing he would like to do is make contact, at least with the lizard folk that have settled down in the ruins of Elm. Just to,
Ashroot, you mean?
yeah, Ashroot, exactly. Basically, no huge action there. I guess it could theoretically be like an influence where he's like, hey, you know, you've been chased away from your home. That's terrible.
By water, yes.
But if you need anything, you need like purpose or people, guidance, protection, you know where to find me, basically.
Mhm. Yeah, they're currently trying to establish themselves as a faction, and they'll keep it in mind. They don't have enough cohesion right now to take a unified action. But yeah, I mean, they're looking at these smugglers sailing back and forth, and they're thinking, people. People means money. People means power.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be basically it then. Don't want to mess with the hierarchy yet.
Malachi,
Yes.
how would I go about, like, how soon am I getting assistance in trying to find the Comerian fleet?
Sembia will send it next year.
Okay.
Which means
Well,
next
that's
you
a
can
shame.
try now if you want to. Of course,
No.
direct attacks Cormier pisses them off a little. But
Yeah,
you know.
I don't have a distinct need for their clock to increase.
Sembia is not expecting you to take any action yet.
Yeah. I've been to Zambia, right?
Yeah, you did it.
Like, what kind of help are they sending? Like money, ships?
Money, probably.
Okay.
They're paying you to do it.
Hmm.
Which means they will attempt to temporarily increase your wealth.
Yes, I'm just wondering how I can have Cormier get pissed on them and not me.
Like blame them.
Yes, like, because I don't need extra Cormerian influence here, but if they would move to Zambia,
Yeah. What you would try to do there is you would try to do unconventional warfare and then hope Cormier doesn't find out.
ooh, they are pretty big and bad. Yeah. But I figure that's a lot easier if I have a established paper trail from Zambia, like
Sure.
next year,
Yeah,
maybe.
blame them. Look, Comia, they hired pirates. I was just paid to do it. Yeah. Comia would not be surprised, though. I mean,
No, it's Zambia, right?
of course they.
Yeah, but wouldn't they just kill me anyway? I don't really like that.
Probably. You're a dragon,
Yeah.
then defense of that.
I'm not a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, if you want to get into that Tesserian mess, that could be a chance to gain something.
Hmm.
It's not your strong suit.
Well, there's not really any warrior raid trade right now, supposing.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know. Tessier has many merchant vessels.
yeah.
And
Jordan, you
they're
attack-
really weak right now, so they can't even defend themselves properly.
I mean, I am all about piracy.
Sure. If you want to
So-
go rate some Tesserian boats, that would be an attack for money, probably. I think you're-
Yes. Yes, indeed.
a
Yeah, I would love to
blatant
do that.
Sure.
So that would be what? Might and sovereignty?
It would not. No. Here you're attacking them to take stuff from them.
Mm-hmm.
You would use might and treasury, basically your power and
Okay.
soldiers, and how much more you can hire and whatnot
Mhm.
against their might and territory. Basically, how well can they defend them? This probably wouldn't as much be. You would attack boats and also probably the harbor, given that they can't really.
But what you could
Oh,
do here is, like, since you're rolling treasure, you can end up spending that, and if you win, you take treasure, you can just keep that party bus rolling. Because as you cancel out
Yeah.
your negative, keep, like, stacking negatives on them.
Yeah. I mean, I see no reason not to.
Mhm.
Um.
It's something you can do at least. Sure. Then let's see some piracy.
Do I get to invoke my assets?
That seems relevant, yeah.
What's your
Right.
asset?
I have aquatic ambushers.
Oh my.
Your company has a core of elite aquatic monsters. When attacking with might against targets in or on water, you get +2.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Beautiful.
Some Sahagin and whatnot.
Right.
So that would be 7 dice, yes?
Seems like it.
Come on, big money.
That's a lot of dice. What can go wrong?
Yeah.
Twos.
That's twos. And Tessier, no, they won't defend. They won't even try at this point. You want to steal some of their money?
Yeah.
You steal some of their money. If you succeed, their treasure go down by 1. Right. If you rate someone with greater treasure,
Well,
Yeah.
I have 1,
Yeah.
so
you temporarily gain a treasure, and they lose 1.
+1.
As
Nice.
you can essentially pay for the
Oh,
action by taking away that treasure, having lost nothing,
Yeah.
while they have lost something.
That's what I meant about being able to continue doing that.
You could just do it again, yeah. if you want
Yeah,
to.
I feel like why not?
Absolutely.
Basically, you steal some money and you pay some more pirates to come back.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like, my pirates buddies will appreciate me giving them some work,
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah.
The great
Very-
employer.
exactly in preparing, Soon enough we'll be fighting Chimerian actual.
You can go like targets of opportunity to get in practice for the war.
Yes.
Oh,
My.
No, they couldn't beat this because they would have 2 dice to defend themselves.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
well.
you can keep it up. Do you want to raid more? I mean, it doesn't cost you anything at this moment.
It
You
does.
build up treasure, I guess,
I'm
but
just wondering what I can gain from.
like what you're
Well,
trying to gain.
Yeah.
Right now, you're weakening them.
Hmm.
and that's of course all well and good. That's
Exactly.
good. It's hard to gain a lot temporarily without losing something.
Yeah.
Paying for it, right? You might do this to damage them. Obviously, you could permanently raid them into the ground. It seems. Look, Cormier
Yeah.
might be being sad at that point.
Yeah, they can't be merchant lords if you raid them to the extent where they start permanently losing their stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, if I wanna establish myself pirating here, I do need some trade. Right?
Trade will happen. People need goods moved.
Mm,
That's
good.
why Westgate gets away with being the city it is, because this is the place you got to go through here.
And by taking away the money of the merchant lords, you're basically removing like a stiff competitor, if nothing else.
Certainly Tessier doesn't like it. Now, you might notice that your money doesn't really go up. That's because you're spending.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Were you to decrease your might every time you attack, you would earn this money to have temporary increases to wealth, which you could then
It's
do.
the end of the
wealth.
year, though.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I'll lose my temporary bonuses then, right?
Yep.
Yes.
You know. But
Unless you can get them down below 0, in which case they will take permanent.
Yeah, I'm all for you. But they're not even bothering to defend, so you're not like.
yeah,
not even,
I
like,
figured, like, if nothing else, it feels good to bully other people.
That's right. You get to be strong, and they get to be weak.
Yeah.
All right, 3s.
That's another success that they couldn't defend because you also got the 1s. Well, they could, I guess, but it's too risky because then they'll permanently lose stuff. They could just hope that you fail at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
Eventually, she can't keep buying all of the pirates. Eventually, she'll run out of money. They'll run out of pirates, right?
You can do it again if you want.
I
Do it.
mean, yeah, why not,
Hour.
right? We gotta see it through. That's the thing. Well, it is.
The thing about raiding, you can just
Yeah.
burn, pillage. Yeah. Oh,
7s.
that will reduce them. They currently have 0 treasure left.
Well, I can't pay for my pirates. I mean, I would have to actually pay them.
Yes, because there's no more you can steal. But you would be decreasing their treasure.
Cormier might not want to move in if, who knows?
Hmm.
Do it.
Do it. Make
Do
it
it.
happen.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not gaining a lot, Maybe we're all
This dragon's
done.
letter, like, do it.
Yeah,
Make it
done.
yeah.
All done bullying for now, I need some kind of returns.
Well,
I mean,
you-
Cormier can't take the city if there's no city left, right?
like if you bankrupt the merchant lords, then it could be like ripe for opportunity for you to move in, like next year. Like instead of being paid as a mercenary, like what if you just controlled Tazir?
It's true.
You can make that your own like beautiful like pirate den and use that as a jump off point to control like Westgate. Because if you
what we
don't
really would want to do was protect people against their own pirates or something like that.
Right, because if you don't do it, the Night Masks will try because they want to reclaim Westgate. So if you don't like do something with Tazir, they're going to.
Ugh.
I say you ride this into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to bully people. Yeah, they have not resisted me.
haven't because they've been beaten up by everybody.
Right. And
Like-
we don't care. Like,
And if they get their money back next year,
as long as there is trade.
and if they do get their money back next year and recover from this, they'll remember the multiple attacks you launched against them.
Maybe they can hire some guards against pirates. Maybe you should have done that. But for now, I shall attack. I've been paid to stop.
3s.
They can't.
they have to try. It's permanent loss.
No. Well,
All right. The merchant lords are becoming poorer. Their infrastructure is being damaged.
I will take a temporary loss of.
The money.
Oh, such pain.
Maybe this helps your dragon like work out some stress after having to like go like
Oh,
kowtow
I
to people.
wasn't in that. For
Yeah.
once.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's true.
You know, leg of dragons over there.
Yeah.
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 You know.
By the way, just reiterating the rules of conquest in this game. If you want to completely take over someone else's stuff, which is a great way to it's the greatest way to improve your own stuff. You do so by reducing 2 of their qualities to 0, so permanently 0. One such quality must be territory or sovereignty. Basically, they have no home or they have no sense of.
And their sovereignty has been dropped into permanent damage, but not 0. It'll be 2 next year.
Generally, that also means that depending on how much they have left when you conquer them, that'll be somewhat of the price. Hence, you might want to think about which things you want to reduce a ton.
Oh, I reduced their money though.
Yeah.
Money. They do have people.
But territory is something you have a 1 in, though, which you could stand to like take from them, like if you actually like take that over.
Yeah. How would I go about that though?
You have to complete.
You'd have to keep attacking them until you damage them enough.
Yeah.
Which might take longer, but if you permanently decrease some of their numbers, then it'll be easier to do in the future.
Right.
Like if they're broke next year, then you'll have a much easier time, like bringing them down.
That's the idea, at least. They have a lot of enemies and no friends at the moment.
Yeah,
They
I
might want
mean, basically any hit I do get them now could reduce them permanently, right?
if you raid them, yes. Any treasure they lose is a permanent loss.
Yeah.
I mean, this is real bad for them. So, just imagine that year. Just
I know. It opens up so strong when the merchant lords are like, "Get the fuck out of our city!"
Out of our city, and then like the watch captains are killed, and all the police are destroyed, and the people march in the streets, and now they're pirates raiding all the. Oh my! That's yes.
Oh my!
That will reduce them further.
Defend against that.
You'll pay your temporary loss as well.
Yes, that should have been one less dive actually, but I don't.
All right. I think that
if
you take a 9 there, that's the wins.
Yeah, I mean, do they have more money I can steal from them? Though?
Yes.
I'm not am I still getting money? I'm not.
No, because they don't have any. You're just damaging their ability to make any.
What we would be up to now. We have -2, so that's basically what we gain from fighting on the water. Yeah, we can make it.
All right, so.
No.
Failure. Just a decrease for you.
Yeah. Well.
You're pushing yourself thin, essentially.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll stop now.
All right.
What
a year.
What?
Of activity.
Oh, wait, I'm still at Westgate.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's getting late, and I just want to hear you guys. What do you guys feel about this way of doing this turn instead of me rolling all these things ahead of time? Is it more engaging? Is it too slow?
I think it was definitely more engaging. I enjoyed seeing what the individual factions actually decided. If everything were to happen at once, like because he rolled it before, we wouldn't really get that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it did take quite a while.
I I agree that the session was more engaging. I also agree that it was slower. I think we were also hampered by getting a later start, having a couple of hiccups with some map tool settings, and then just like the roleplay of introducing an entirely new character to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the better way, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Then we'll keep doing it that
Sure.
way until we decide that
I
we
do
want a
like
different way.
getting the chance to influence things when they're happening.
Yeah.
Well, a big part of it is also getting to defend. Which,
There's a proactive and reactive approach there too. Like, well,
Yeah.
that's happening, then I'll do this. So then that's happening, so let's do that.
yeah.
If the red wizard starts looking for dragons, I want to know so I can be like, no. You know?
And of course, we are more in detail with factions that we are engaging with actively.
Mm.
The Red Banner, how much they matter? It kind of matters where they go in sort of the grand scheme of things, but the minute detail doesn't.
They're very far away, bro.
Hmm. As for goal progress, at what point is this trade stuff going to be like solidified, Manica? I guess I'll
So
ask.
currently, it's an easy goal for fostering the trade. I think it's done. You've done steps to make it happen. Basically, it's
Alright.
happening. It's an easy goal. A different goal would be to have, like more years of long trade or something. But that's
Mhm.
not what this is.
Yeah.
This is making it happen, and it's happening.
All right.
You can declare that one done. Attract the attention of Sembia. I mean, one of you have done it. It's not really the person whose goal it is, so I figure we'll leave it out there. Over for the Merchant Lords of Tears, certainly being worked on. Claim territory from the hierarchy, not really being worked on.
No.
Which leaves us with 3 goal slots for next time. Ari, I figure you will think of some things to put on there. Because nominally 2 of those slots are supposed to be filled with things that you're particularly interested in.
Yeah.
Maybe one goal one day will be to kill the purple worm. Go try.
One day.
That we can re-engage in the 4E mechanics of the game.
Yeah, just imagine.
I don't know.
What if we
Who is
were-
this worm? I have no interest. Maybe if someone asks nice.
What if we are characters who engage in actions with our actual dragon?
Yeah.
I mean, I did set up like a bunch of actors. Actually spent like most of my
Well,
day.
Well, you'll have an entire week to think about how you feel about them.
And refine them, make a new
Refine them?
character
No,
build,
I
and
don't think so.
it's gonna have to be good enough.
Yeah. No more.
Maybe we will take that worm next session. Because at this point, it's getting ridiculous. It's gotta go at some point.
Grimith go ahead and leans over to Sheep's macro and throws 6 more dice for fun. Hell yeah!
Oh, look at that.
I love the Were Reds.
Oh, Lord. Nope.
Look at that.
Beyond that, I hope everyone had fun. I know we did just these mechanics, but they're still new. They're still interesting. Things are happening. Things are engaging, and I'm sure the 4th edition encounters are coming for us.
Yes. I'm
They'll
looking
probably
at those.
through this system.
Looking at those Wimics.
Yeah, they want a piece of it, and they're certainly not entirely pushovers.
Yeah, the Wimix, the purple worm. I would
Like,
expect
we
that
are all
if
those people we were talking. Like,
you were very quiet there.
that's it. Where are the Wimics? I don't.
It's this thing over here, the Call of Nabanda.
Oh.
They
Okay.
are, if you will, the rival god to Malar.
Oh.
They believe that the peaceful coexistence between nature and society can happen as long as there's good guardians protecting the weak and shepherding people.
You know,
Sounds
several
reasonable.
several years back, the hill that my dragon lives in used to be like a a shrine of No Banyan where like the weak animals could go and receive like protection and comfort. And I took it over, used Amrath, the Druid of Malar, to help convert it to Malar. And those wimps basically ate the loss, and they won a piece of it.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
been a
yeah.
while.
I was just mousing over everything. I was like, who are they? What are they talking about? I don't see them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that
There's-
makes
there's
a lot
some
more
history
sense.
to most of the people here.
Hmm?
There's a lot of history to a lot of the factions.
Yeah. I'm okay with
Hierarchy.
that.
The giants, right? Which also might be a way to get engaged with some dragon fighting, because
Mm.
giants. Yeah, we haven't fought giants in a couple sessions now, so.
Yeah, it's about time.
But it feels like a whole different thing we're doing.
But we gotta see it done, right?
Gotta do
No.
it.
God. That I know nothing of giants, so actually
Oh,
I don't.
you will. You will.
Session 54 was our last giant fight.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
almost
wow.
10 sessions.
See, they don't seem like a problem really to me. I've other
Yeah,
things to do.
it was just just a bundle of fun. I don't want to engage in that, but Valignant does.
I mean, I'm just looking at all these mountains that I want to have.
Rolling my eyes, of course, so that I can just lay there in the mountains.
Yeah.
fly over them and know that nothing beneath its wings is alive.
Yeah. So how you feeling after today, Ari?
A little overwhelmed, but it's nice to begin. Yeah. I mean,
Overwhelmed for reasons entirely unrelated to 4E combat mechanics with your character. Like, what power do I have? What does this do?
yeah, I've been working on that a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't finish that many hours before the session.
Mm-hmm.
But also just because I'm looking at the like having to level up to this level and then like buying magic items and shit. It's just like so fucking baffling. It's like, oh, stuff interacting. It's like, oh, this could interact with that, but I could also interact with this. And it's like, oh god.
Bit of choice paralysis.
Yeah. Yeah. I say the amount of times I have like removed items and feats and put them back on the table can't be counted on two hands.
That
for
item
sure.
choice paralysis has not been a problem for me, as I've only gotten what has been found in the campaign.
Yeah, you know. That is but on one hand, I mean that has a downside, but also you know,
you get to tailor your items for you.
yeah.
You know, I might have something for you if you have a reciprocal gift. I might have a magic item that might be of interest to you. We can talk about it after session. Another time.
I don't even know what classic card is.
It's a mystery.
I'm a rogue.
I mean, Striker very much seemed obvious there with the stealth flavor.
Yeah,
There-
you know, I figured. Also, the fact that I've been undercover and such just makes sense.
Yep. We have a sneaky dragon in the campaign. We did it.
What? Those things don't exist.
Yeah, that is her first impression of the likeness. Certainly, you know, that's. But
him.
you know, it's nice to have someone that, like, you know, if Cormier does get a visit, they're probably not gonna look for her.
That's right.
Malignith will throw down with anyone, as far as I know.
Yeah,
Pretty
which
much.
is nice, right? You know, if you're at one point your scapegoat.
How do I help the Cult of the Dragon deal with Eldersalt? I kill everyone else.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, okay. That's
At
It's
that point,
good that
I
they rolled
considered joining, and I'm like, no, what are you doing? Why are you angry Cormier? I don't need this. I want
If
the
you notice-
water.
actually this session. Cormier, stop being as mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
1 step less
um,
mad.
I'm
Although
about to.
I will
Attack
say the entire like last bit of the session here, I so wanted to get into the whole thing of bullying Tizir, but there's no way I can do that without being obvious, so...
You just like look around, look at Thunderholm, and like, this is also for your own good, Thunderholm.
Tessia doesn't want to trade with you either. Kaslam.
I imagine Cormier would have cared more had their attempts to actually like.
Yeah,
Like,
they
into-
failed to protect
integrate
everyone.
this.
Just imagine,
But they
like
probably...
just sitting, like smelling the smoke in the air floating from Tasir. So
I think we can probably all expect Cormier to get involved in Tissir and
Yep.
anywhere else where things like this happen. And once they're involved, they will care deeply about.
Oh. Well, I mean, if they want to focus on Tasir and stop having a giant fleet in my waters, future waters,
You know,
no,
I
I would.
try to protect Tissir as well.
Yeah, the interest
Well,
might
that
just be
seems
totally
like
aligned.
stretching their fleet thin.
Sure.
Sure.
Looking at their dice pool, yeah, thin.
Yeah, the size doesn't matter, right?
They have the most might of any one of them.
Yeah,
We're
they're huge.
dragons. Size
Look at them.
absolutely matters.
They are powerful. Not the richest, not even the most influential, but they're big and they're powerful.
Yeah, I really would like them to hate the Red Wizards. That would be
They,
great.
they're not friends.
Okay, is there
Are we
any way
talking
we can work on blaming the Red Wizards for anything that's going on, so they can?
Maybe, but
It
they
was
might
Saz
also find-
I'm just saying,
was
like
the
I can't
pirate.
find Cormier. You know?
yeah, just try to start a global war. You'll fit into the group just fine.
Look, it's all for the greater good.
What if we?
My
correct
personal
them?
goals are more important than all these pitiful lives of.
Of course. Yeah.
Hey,
You know.
the thing is, I only want global war if we win. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I say. We can't provoke Cormier too much. I say as I'm gonna beat their fleet. I'll try to.
If you look at the new Cormirian province of Thay, and you're like, oh shit. Yeah.
Just make sure that you act immediately at the start of the year before Cormier can have a chance to like, nope, I'm in.
Yeah, we'll attack swiftly, and then we're gonna go into hiding. And if Cormier comes, I know who did it. It was the Captain's Council. So,
It was
Under
the
the
Red
bus.
Dragon. Have you heard about Valigna?
hey, everyone's gonna fight for themselves.
I will roll. I plan to roll new initiatives for each faction.
Oh God, no.
To see who acts first and who acts last.
Hmm.
Generally, with newcomers, just being put at the end. That makes
Okay, well, how about putting Cormier in the? Since I would be new in this.
Though I will say the system does put bigger factions behind smaller ones,
Oh,
and more factions with more sovereignty ahead of those with less. So a tiny faction that's incredibly fanatical will act very fast.
oh, great.
Yeah, what the hell happened to the Cult of the Dragon?
They must
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I'm just saying
I
the
know.
sheep,
I don't know.
sheep trying to like help people. They're really not. They feel like they're coasting a little bit. They're like, oh yeah, if we do nothing, the big red dragon will come and help us again.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean-
what it seemed like. Like last year, he just beat the shit out of the city.
Yeah,
so
well,
if we
they're
just
just
hold out our
like-
hands, Tiamat will give us more handouts.
And then they went there, and now they have the city council.
To be fair, like Valica's first interaction with anyone of the Cult of the Dragon was someone trying to set himself on fire. So I'm not sure what effectivity I expected.
The Cult of the Dragon. I mean, it's humans who believe that humans should die and dragons should just take over.
Only in destruction of the true
It's mostly not sane people, like the people on the ground. Then there's like the top leaders are either like insane necromancers, or like wealthy people just trying to profit, but not really caring about the.
it's incredibly understandable why the Harpers would look at that situation and go, "That's really bad.
We don't
shouldn't
want
let
insane necromancers, mad doomsday fanatics, and wealthy, self-serving assholes to rule the city. Yeah, I mean, the Harpers are old enemies of the culture. The Harpers do good and fight evil.
Yep, sort of adventurer thing.
They do it in sort
Yeah.
of stealthy ways instead of doing what Cormier does, which is punch stuff in the face. And they flopped these couple times. The Harpers have not done well, even though they've sort of played to the strength.
The Harpers flop, Cormier flop with their
Yeah.
attempts to
Things
influence
were not
things.
good there. They could have been different, but they aren't. And now they have these guys beginning to settle in. And how can they legitimately topple the government? The Harpers are okay with it, but Cormier will have to negotiate with them. They're all lawful.
Ah.
Hmm.
Stupid Cormier.
I'm excited that we can't play more, but next time, things will go down even more.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
Will
apparently
Valignant-
we're
They will
looking
begin
to,
advancing their clock a little bit.
rule the world, really.
Yeah.
right. will-
Hell
will
will begin to do more things. They kind of failed too.
Valignant took a break for a year to relax on his mountaintops and make weapons for everyone. We decided a year was good enough and go back to murder.
Now let's find out together next time.
What a great hook to end it on.
What an adventure.
And with that, I'm gonna end the stream.
Yeah.
See you next Friday, everyone.
Hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Bye.
Comment.